ask me, can I love? But it's not for free. My demons in my ocean and they grab on me. Sitting in my darkness, just out of reach. I can see you in my dream, my final fantasy.
Well, it looks like we are actually live. What is going on, everyone? Commodore Lads here, and welcome back to another edition of Yap Piece. We're here today for episode 6 to talk about the latest events going on right now in the greatest adventure story ever told. And I'm not doing this alone because you already know what it is, man. We got to bring the good brothers of the One Piece community together. And I'm joined by a host of people right now that pulled up today. We have the Hidden Island here today with us. We have Parvision, we have Sai, we have Edens. We may have some outside interference later on in the stream, but first and foremost, to the gentlemen who are here today, how are you guys doing? And welcome.
Yeah,
Great,
it's a
thank you.
good time. Legendary
Thank God
time.
it's Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thursday, no chapter tomorrow. That's kind of a wild pull.
No, for sure. And we got a Mugiwara Matt B appearance too, man. This is what I love to see, man. This is the game I love, man. What's good, Matt?
Oh,
What's happening, bro?
What's happening, brother? How are you?
Hey, man, I'm doing good, bro. What the fuck is going on in here?
Bro, it's Yap Piece, bro. You know what it is? You were here last time, brother.
Oh, okay. Already. You live?
Yeah, we live right now, brother. We live, man.
Okay, bet. Yeah,
What's stuff.
I'm doing good, brother. I'm just chilling.
Of course, man. Hey, so I want to ask y'all real quick and stuff because obviously, we had the last Yap piece we had talked about, from the emu design reveal and stuff. Time has passed a little bit and everything, right? So we just got some new stuff that's been going on, seeing what emu has to offer with the Maki, the Omen, whatever translation you want to go with, but also just the display that we've seen from thus far. But before we get into the discussion, of course, subscribe to the channel. We talk about the One Piece greatness week in, week out, as well as doing Yap Piece. We also talk about Kagurabachi, Dadadan on the respective days when they come out. Make sure you're subbed up. Like this stream, very important to do so because YouTube doesn't want to promote my content anytime soon. So if you want to be able to help your brother out, definitely go like this stream. If you watch on the VOD, shout out to the VOD gang. But yeah, man. So Yap Piece, bro. We're gonna yap. Anytime you want to interrupt, anytime you want to ask something, change the topic, whatever, by all means, man. But first and foremost, how's everybody feeling so far, though, when it comes to Elbaph? Because the momentum that this arc has been on from beginning to right now, and I know some people may have their varying opinions and stuff over and everything, but I've been loving it. But I'm very curious to know what y'all are thinking right now. And chat, make sure to say hi to everybody that's here today, too, of course.
My opinions on Elbaph are controversial, I think, so I'll save that for.
You want to say the best for last?
Yeah. he said, "I fucking hate Elbaph."
No.
I didn't say that. I said something similar, but not quite.
I still remember before the reverie before Elbaph and Hidden Island hit us with the OP kid takes on the giants, rolls them up into a ball. That set the chat off. It was like Hidden versus all of us, and he was doing a good job lawyering up for Kid. And and then the funny part is Sai, every week he brings up Kid. Oh, it's Kid's time to shine. You remember when the Holy Knights, their hearts were made of metal? That's Sai's opening. He was like, "Oh my God, Kid is gonna be the shining knight showing up. He's gonna lock down the Holy Knights." I was like, the Holy Knights are trash. They lock down themselves. Like, what do we need?
Wait, I know.
Everybody wants the Eustace Kid comeback, man. Let me tell you.
Oh,
I
man.
know we still don't have
gonna
Kid
happen.
fans in here. Like people hoping Kid's gonna. Like
Man,
He's
Y'all-
alive, man.
y'all not serious, are y'all?
Sai's a Kid fan
I'm dead
only.
serious, man.
No, he's not really a Kids fan. He's like he'll say some stuff and you're like, wait a second, you don't really like the guy.
I think,
And then
there's got to be balance in this world. For every Kid hater that's out there, I'm there twofold. Like, there's got to be balance.
So
Equilibrium.
Sai, let me ask you, brother. I don't think that we formally met before. Nice to meet you. Hold on a second. Let me Oh, the light's messing me up. Hang on a second.
Hey,
I
man,
need to turn that off. Sai. So what did you think? What did you think whenever Kid went up to the roof and he said that he was bewildered?
Oh Oh, dude.
that Kaido could be damaged by physical attacks.
See, here's the thing, man. You know, I'm a kid defender. I'm not defending any of his past actions. No, that guy's dog shit, bro. The fact that he is not showing up hockey, you can't defend it. You really can't.
Oh my god.
What I'm betting on when it comes to Kid, I'm betting
Yeah.
on his future, not his past.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So like,
Yeah, Rooftop Kid is awful, man. I mean, you can't defend that one.
okay,
You see what I'm
oh,
saying, Matt? You see what
oh,
I'm saying? He's
nah,
not really a Kid fan, but then when it comes to talking about like anything, as soon as anytime metal comes up in the One Piece chapter, it's oh my
Oh,
god,
man.
Kid is showing up to Elbaph.
Yeah, man.
It's
okay, okay. So
The
here,
remontada.
let me give you, let me mess with you a little bit then, right? So I used to really be I used to sing Kid's praises and stuff, right? I'm like, oh, just wait until we see Kid. Kid is gonna he is going to have a big showing in Wano. Oda's been building him up. He's gonna do this, do that, right? Um, so I still think that Luffy and Kid could potentially have a great fight, right? Later
Mhm.
Okay.
later on in the series. Okay, now let me explain. Okay, uh,
Cook.
so what I'll say, right, is how do you feel about Luffy or about Kid being um not quite at the center, but having a hand in helping Blackbeard take down Shanks and potentially kill him? And that's gonna fuel Luffy. That's gonna fuel Luffy and Kid's like beef and make it a little bit more personal, because that's the best thing that I can that I can hope for Kid.
As a
I like
Kid
that.
fan, I agree with you. As a man with
Mhm.
common sense, I agree with you. Like the thing is, we don't know why, but Kid does have a massive hard on for Shanks.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's gonna give that up anytime soon, especially with what just happened. He's like a bad timeline version of Luffy. He doesn't give up. You know, he
Mm-hmm.
fought him once, never got to see him. Fought him twice, got one shot. He's gonna go at it again. Teaming up with Blackbeard it wouldn't be super kid-like, but if it got the job done, it gets the job done. Right now, I have him against either Shanks in the future or even Shamrock. Maybe he trades one redhead for another. But
Okay.
you know, Kid's not done. He's not gonna give up. As much as people want him to, he's not done.
He's
it'd be
in
interesting.
Davy Jones' locker right now.
Yeah, he's probably talking to him right now, trying to get some kind of recipe going so he can, make his big comeback after.
He's lore relevant.
Yeah, I like the
Yeah.
imagery that Shanks stuffed him in a locker like a high school bully.
Yeah, literally,
Pretty
like
good.
literally and figuratively, he did. So
Yeah, he's
crazy.
like a JP Chase Morgan's employee.
Come on, that's too soon.
Yo,
Today,
You-
how are you doing
what's
today?
crazy? I've seen that article pop up for the 5th time today about that. I'm just like, at some point, someone's gonna talk about it for the 6th time. Here we go. So I appreciate that
Oh,
side.
she was on some big mom shit.
No, it was wild. Like, yo, I couldn't believe what I was reading. I was just like,
I
yo,
was crying, man.
like, anyways. But no, stuff like Kid. I mean, I can't lie. People that have been with the channel for a while know that I have, been a Kid fan before and stuff and everything. I had high hopes for him and everything. Obviously, it looks like Oda hasn't felt that way whatsoever, given his last appearance in the story. But I've always been a big believer in the idea that no body, no death. And that applies to quite a lot of characters, both past, present, and potentially in the future. So maybe there's a chance that Kid does come back at some point in time. But yeah,
How's Kid doing in the popularity polls?
that is interesting. I haven't looked too much
bottom.
on that. Yeah, probably.
Because if he's doing good there, then he's doing good in the story. That's how
That is
that's the
true.
power of One Piece. That's
Mm.
why you got to shout out like Sai has his character Barbell, right? Barbell,
Right.
he made it on the popularity poll. Oda's gonna include him in the Rocks Pirates crew. He didn't
Yeah.
include him in God Valley, but Sai single-handedly put him on the leaderboard, and that's Oda's measurement. He's like, is this character? Do people even know this guy? And so that's what we gotta do with Kid. Oda wrote Law in for a decade because he was popular. So we gotta look at that and be like, all right, if he's popular enough, he'll rise up from the ocean for sure. On the edge of Elbaph, right in front of Emu, right in between Loki and he's gonna try and magnetize Ragnar, and Ragnar's just gonna squeak, and then Kid's gonna be like, why can't I pull this guy?
Mhm.
And yeah, and then at the end of the day, it's like, even if Kid were to show up on Elbaph, there's not much he could do right now, right? Like,
Yeah.
Conqueror's
the
Haki-
force is at
Conqueror's
hand.
Haki's needed to beat a God Knight.
Is
Yeah,
it though? Did you see Sommers looking at his heart, bro? Like,
and not
I
to
don't
mention
know
that
if you
Omen
can-
enhancement too as
think
well. Like the Omen thing, we forgot about that as well. How big
I-
that's gonna be for those characters.
I think Conqueror's
Oh,
Hockey
yeah.
is 100% necessary to beat a God's Knight.
Yeah,
I don't
you
know,
need
Yeah.
Conqueror's hockey.
Sommers looked at that metal heart and he looked pretty spooked. I don't
But
know
to
if
get
you
to the
needed.
metal heart, you need Conqueror's hockey.
Did they need it though?
Hey,
Like,
someone,
Yeah.
someone correct me.
that Thor
Correct me if I'm
rifle's
wrong.
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Have we seen? I know we know he has it, but did we see him use it in Wano?
No,
Conqueror's
we've
Hockey?
never seen.
Unless in the anime,
is about.
I
We have
can
never
remember in
seen
the anime
Kid
personally.
use
yeah.
Conqueror's Hockey.
Yeah, because he didn't
Yeah.
need to, right?
Right. Okay.
He didn't need to use it. Hey, I don't like that. I like that hidden.
he's like Sanji, you know. He saw Big Mom. He said, "I'm not gonna use it here." I'm not
Wait,
gonna
no. Like, so I mean, Conqueror's coding is different than regular Conqueror's Hockey. Like, Kid really doesn't have any need to use Conqueror's Hockey unless he was like doing some fodder control because
He's never been pushed far enough. He's never been pushed there. By
Right.
anyone.
what to
Well-
use Conqueror's Hockey.
Yeah, it's
That's a
Big
lie.
Mom- What do
Well,
you
the
mean,
thing
bro?
is,
It's coming back.
The other part is it's not Scopper didn't say you need advanced conquerors. He just said you need conquerors. We're not jumping the gun with Sanji and Zoro going straight from 0 to advanced conquerors. So
Well, Zoro already
allegedly-
has advanced Conquerors.
Yeah, but like whatever Scopper was talking about wasn't he made it seem like you just need the bare minimum. You know,
Yeah.
he was like,
No, he did not.
I just
No, he
yeah, he did.
didn't.
He just was
No, he
smelling
didn't.
out
He
conquerors. He's
didn't.
like, he said, I'm smelling some conquerors here. He didn't said,
He
I'm
said you
smelling
gotta
some
be
advanced
mindful
ones.
Of your Conqueror's hockey, like
Yeah,
Just a
that
regular-
what
I mean,
the hell
he's
does
not.
that mean?
He's not gonna. So if he's acknowledging that they are Conqueror's users, or like he's not gonna make the distinction if they can use Conqueror's coding or not, because I don't think if he. So like with Zoro, right? He told Zoro that he's leaking Conqueror's hockey. He wouldn't be able to sense that he has or that he's capable of advanced Conquerors.
Yeah, he's probably just assuming though. I mean, you know, to be on side of things, it's like you're on Elbaph and you don't got advanced conquerors. What you boys been doing? You know, like it's also low key. Like Scopper's probably like when he was testing them, he was just like, you know what, you know, they surely they have advanced conquerors, and then he smells the rest of his crew and he's like, you guys only got 2 conquerors on this crew. What's happening?
Yeah.
Maybe 3.
Well, I was about to ask you about the third one there, Park, because do you think that little moments in the panel where Sanji's like talking to him and it just passes on, do you think he probably whispered to him, hey, by the way, you got it, just don't say it too loud because you and I, you know, we're kin, we're kind of similar and stuff.
We don't need lads. You
think it's
you
Usopp.
don't need that. I don't need that. I've been smelling it from before.
Okay.
From before Onigashima, I've been smelling it off of Sanji. We got that book. We
Fair
got so
enough.
much stuff. We don't need Scopper to smell it out for us. You know,
Mhm.
if
Well,
he
couldn't
smelled
it-
it, he
Okay.
smelled it.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Usopp, because this is his arc.
That
right?
would be, hey, I'm here for
Usopp's
that,
arc,
man, because
right?
we need something. At some point, we
God.
need something for sure.
Yeah, this is
Usopp's
the time. Yeah,
tongue, bro.
Usopp's gonna do something.
if Usopp
Yeah.
has
Eventually,
advanced
one
I
day.
think, the Usopp, that's a joke.
Hey, man,
Usopp did
so
the most damage.
It's his
Usopp
arc.
did the most damage.
Hey, I'll say this about Usopp. I'll say this about Usopp though before we go into it, Matt. Though, at the very least, though, Usopp has one feat that Rocks, Roger, all the mans could not say at one point in time. They were able to bait Emu into pulling up on
Yeah.
residency, man. Like I'm telling you, that's a feat in itself, bro.
made him
If like, man, imagine I talk to you crazy on the ends, you're not gonna go bug me after. But if some other man came in afterwards and was talking mad, you gonna pull up on them, and that's a feat on Usopp, regardless if he gets popped afterwards, bro. Like you gotta give him credit on that.
I mean-
Usopp made Emu bleed. Usopp made
mean,
Emu
Yeah, bro.
bleed.
Yeah, facts.
Like-
without even
like
touching.
the-
Without even touching.
The standard
That's
for
what I'm saying.
Usopp, like the bar for Usopp is in hell. So I mean, yeah. I
Hey,
guess we
bro.
can-
From heaven to hell, bro. We gotta get
It
it.
is in hell.
That-
Yeah, no, I
any-
agree. It's-
any
Usopp
week
is
That's
now,
why
guys.
they have the hell realm, right? They're in the
Yes, we do.
underworld. The
No,
bar's
no,
down there.
yeah, for Usopp specifically. For Usopp
We
specifically.
now
The
Usopp's
bar
gonna
is in hell.
do what he's been
Hey, man.
meant to do the whole story, and that's cheerlead for all the other characters actually doing something. Any week now,
I've-
guys.
Hey.
I've been telling.
people. Go ahead.
No, it's the same. I'm with you, Matt. Anytime my chat brings up, hey, Bart, it's Usopp's time, I was just stop. Ever since Emu showed up in Gunko's body, I've been telling my chat, don't bring up Usopp ever again, because there's no part of the arc that Usopp has like a W against Emu. The most he got was the tongue lashing, and that's fine. But anything more, like, the thing is that it parallels and it feels very similar to Stampede, where like Douglas Bullet shows up, beats the shit out of Usopp, and then Luffy goes like, nah, he matters too. And then like a seed spawns out of Douglas Bullet, and then he's like wrapped up for a second, and it's like, oh yeah, that's cool against Douglas Bullet. That's not cool against Emu. We can't have that same level of anything for Usopp against Emu. And so like on that front, it's like, yeah, we already got as much as we can get from Usopp, unless it's like against the Holy Knights, maybe, but like Usopp didn't run at the Holy Knights. Usopp ran at Emu. And like, so that's where Oda locked in Usopp. Usopp didn't do any like learning about Sommers or any learning about Killingham or any learning about the Dami reverses or anything. That's where I thought it would have made a lot more sense to put Usopp, in terms of like, hey, if we want him to play a valuable role, it's like trying to figure out what was going on with Dami reversing. They still didn't figure it out. Zoro's out here thinking that Chopper did that because he's a good doctor. We're all like, where's the good doctor?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
That is true. Hey, man,
it's
shout out to
kinda
the Force God,
confusing.
bro.
Like, and even right now, when Emu's back, like, if Usopp's at least spectating it, then maybe he can figure out something. Oh, the black flame is reacting weirdly to this or that. That's where Usopp fits in. But the part is, they'll never give Usopp that position or role. And I don't know if people are gonna be like super hard cope and like, oh yeah, Usopp had his moment for Elbaph. I'm like, that doesn't count in the same way that like the people were cheering for when we're going into Elbaph. And
Yeah.
going into Elbaph, I wasn't the one. I was like, guys, you know, like, maybe let's drop our expectations for Usopp a little bit. I don't know if we're gonna get Mjolnir. I don't know if we're gonna get that
Bro,
shit for him.
that's what I'm saying.
Let me ask a question about this topic, because you know, after a whole story's worth, multiple arcs, you know, multiple situations where the giants are, you know, foreshadowed. We meet some of the giants from Elbaph. Usopp every time has something to say. He's always talking about how much he loves Elbaph and the giants, and he wants them to be his masters and teach him how to be a brave warrior. He can't wait to go see what the homeland looks like. Okay, we finally get there. Is it bad that we had our expectations where they are? Because I feel like that's the expectations the story set for us. It's not like we just pulled. We didn't theorize that Usopp was gonna really have a connection to Elbaph. The story gave that to us.
Yeah.
So now that we're here and we're not getting that, even if Usopp and I've been saying this to everybody because I haven't been streaming or putting my videos out, but everyone that like still talks to me about One Piece personally, I've been saying to everyone, watch, Usopp's moment is going to be an actual literal moment. It's going to be a whole arc of nothing with Usopp, and he's going to get like one singular thing he does in the arc that's like somewhat helpful. And then everyone's going to point to that and say, look, the foreshadowing. Look, Oda's a genius. He mentioned this 50 times in the previous chapters just so Usopp could do this one thing. And I really sincerely hope it's not a Stampede moment. I hope it's not a moment where the story literally has to turn our heads 90 degrees and say, oh, remember this guy? Yeah, this guy's still here in the arc. Yeah, he's actually kind of useful for this like one specific scenario. Usopp, get him. Get him, boy. And then Usopp's gonna go and he's gonna do his little slingshot gimmick. He's gonna do a little funny gag, and then that's gonna be it. That's the whole Elbaph build-up for Usopp that we got. I was told I was headcanoning. I headcanoned this, that my expectations for Usopp being relevant at all, or at least a central or major part of the arc, I was told that this is a expectation I created on my own. I imagined it all up. Now that we're here, but if you asked people before the arc started, no one would have said that. No one would have said Usopp's not going to be a big part of the arc. Everyone was saying that. Everyone guessed it. Now that we're here, though, now we shift the goalposts. Now it's you know, oh, we'll be happy if we get one moment. So what do you guys
I'll say
think?
this. I'll say this, right? As far as like the this is Usopp's arc stuff, I think is the same thing that happened in Wano,
Yeah. With
where
Zoro.
people were like, "Oh, this is about to be Zoro's arc." It's so with Sanji and Whole Cake Island. Okay, people thought that we were gonna get a whole. People thought we were gonna start a theme, I guess, of character focused arcs that coincide with different islands for the Straw Hats. And I just think that I think it's a nice concept. It's good in theory, but that's like all fan hype. That's
Mm.
like that's not it's not real
Well,
because because look, like I'm not gonna say that Wano was Zoro's arc at all. I don't think it was. We had moments where we were following Zoro around, but I think that was more akin to like the Wandering Samurai type of thing.
Yeah.
That's like that trope. I don't think it and obviously Zoro fits into like he fits right into that for obvious reasons. But we got like we learned about Zoro's lineage, and Oda put that shit in SBSs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
bad.
and, and
Yeah,
that's
bad.
and that's a thing where it's like going back even to with Wano and stuff. I think we can all kind of agree. It's like the length of that arc became what it became because there was a lot of things that were going on and stuff. Whether it be called changing the editors, Oda may probably change plans and stuff here and there and stuff. But it's just like I hate things like that with the SBSs and the Vivi cards because those things like even as mystical as they are, there's still things I want to see flesh onto the story because that's what makes these things like matter in the grand scheme of these characters. And like now just finding out that all of a sudden, like even the stuff with Moria, now we're finding out all of a sudden that there were Kozuki and everything, but it's like that's how many arcs pass now. And it's like why am I gonna care about any of that stuff that's happening like right after, right? But even with the Zoro stuff that's there, I think after that whole thing happened, I think it's easy to maybe dumb down the expectations that we had made for Usopp. But then going from a comment that just seen right now in chat, someone said that Usopp might lead the galley a lot of the Giants in the final war, so maybe it's possible that that payoff could come after Elbaph. So I wanted to ask with you guys, do you think that does it specifically have to be in the arc
Bro,
itself to that moment,
so
or would you be fine with that
I
coming, let's say, after an arc, for
I
that to
think
be fully realized?
to hop off of what Hidden was saying and to answer this, like the reason why going into Elbaph, I was very tame about my Usopp expectation was because of what happened with Wano. I actually made a
Hmm.
video talking about how post Wano or even with Wano, I wasn't really upset about the Zoro situation. The reason why is because the way Oda introduced Wano was that it was not the Wano that like he heard, even Zoro had heard of. Zoro heard of a land of samurai, but Kaido had gutted it. When we stepped on Wano, they said they removed all the samurai, took all the swords, got rid of all the samurai. So the moment Zoro landed there, he was already the strongest swordsman there. He would kill anybody,
Hmm.
everybody, including if Odin was still alive, maybe it would take a little bit, but like Odin would be hella old and maybe Zoro would have blew him over. But point
Hmm.
is that like for a lot of reasons, that arc, when the way Oda introduced that and the expectations, like, okay, Zoro, Samurai, Wano, but Wano isn't the Wano that we heard of, that he heard of, that we wanted. And the thing is, I was thinking about that with Usopp, and I put this all in that Zoro video. I was saying that the next Straw Hat that would probably get fleshed out was actually Brook because of the Holy Knights. And
Hmm.
now, don't get me wrong, I did not expect the Gunko thing at all. The way we got
Yeah.
that, the backstory with it, but that's what I was saying. I was saying the next person that we probably get focused on is the West Blue Straw Hat, which would be Brook, and then tying into God Valley, which at the time we had no idea of God Valley. And then we got into Elbaph, and what did we get with Elbaph? Elbaph was not the Elbaph that Usopp even wanted. I think Usopp slandered them before I did.
Yeah.
Usopp was like, yo, you guys are lame. And
Yeah.
so that's where it's weird for having Usopp to have like that growth that we want from him for being the brave warrior of the sea when he lands on the island and he is slandering the island. He is slandering them, saying, where is the braveness? Why are you guys all this peace loving people? And like they're wondering, why aren't you guys like raiding villages and stuff like that, like, which is crazy that he said it to like a bunch of kids at the school.
Hmm.
But in essence, he was slandering Elbaph before even we got to understand what was going wrong with Elbaph, which is why it's a weird conundrum, because I completely get what Hidden's saying, and I like push back on what Matt was saying, and like I don't think it's a fan made thing. Like I watching back, like even the live action forced me to rewatch back and reread Little Garden. Like no, like Usopp was hella down for Elbaph. They had that flashback back with Usopp and
Yeah.
Luffy
Yeah.
holding arms, like, yeah, we finally made it here, boys. And then Usopp like there's no room for him to breathe in this arc because just the powers at hand are just way too above his punching class or weight class, and it just doesn't make sense. Like it'll feel so weird if Usopp gets a Dressrosa moment in Elbaph, given what we're dealing with. And like, sure, we can continue to use the Holy Knights as a punching bag and give Usopp a W on them, but at this point, the Holy Knights have taken so much of a beating that like even if like Chopper showed up and smacked the shit out of them, it's like oh wow, the Holy Knights are garbage. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Could I-
unless we introduced other Holy Knights, it wouldn't
Well,
really.
that's my other thing I was gonna say too, that part, because I wanted to ask what you guys. Obviously, the last piece, I think I was meant to ask it, probably got lost in translation and stuff. But do you feel like that we should have probably had gone in like, because I don't know how many in total. I think there's supposed to be 13, I think it is, in the number and stuff. But like, do you think that we should have probably gotten more Holy Knights popping up instead of having Emu show up in the manner that they did right now? Because then that's where I feel like, even with the whole thing of the Omen that's been introduced to some of these guys, I'm thinking, okay, but that's more so for Sanji, Zoro to handle business, where realistically it should be for the other half of the crew that needs that growth. I've been very adamant about that I'm not worried about Luffy, Zoro, Sanji. I'm not even worried about Robin. Let's be honest. If Oda actually wanted to show off with her, he could. The problem is the back half of them. I want to see Brook show out. I want to see Usopp show out. I want to see Chopper, Nami do that. But as things stand right now, it feels like too much that they're supposed to be dealing with. And these kind of fights that we're going right now are back to the top half of the crew. So it's like, do you guys think that maybe we should have gone other Holy Knights? Or again, even when the girls say popped up when they did back in Egghead, I thought that was crazy. And the only way they had to get out was through an escape rope. It was the only way to do so. But now here, it's like, I feel like we should have probably got them. So I don't know if you guys are in the same agreement that maybe we should have got more Holy Knights, or maybe, let's say, the Marines that popped up with, let's say, an Admiral or something. So that gives them a way to scale themselves back up to where they need to be as a proper Yonko crew.
I think there should be less Holy Knights. I think there's actually the problem isn't that we need more. I think we need less. But
Okay.
to get to that point though, for a second, I had to give pushback because there's a couple points that came up,
Yep.
and I just want to put my thoughts on that. So
Mhm.
I think that in regard to Matt's point about the whole thing with Zoro, I don't think it's the same thing. I don't think it's an equivalent thing. I think Zoro going to Wano is thematically appropriate, but I don't think that that's a core thing to Zoro's growth. Like Par said, Zoro was already beyond the strength of most people that were on the island at that point. He already demonstrated he was highly skilled. He trained with Mihawk, so I don't really know what a samurai from Wano is going to offer Zoro that Mihawk couldn't. And then on top of that, Usopp's entire dream is to be a brave warrior of the sea, and he views the giants and Dorian Brogy specifically as a perfect representation of what he wants to be, as like the example of what a brave warrior is. So for Usopp, Elbaph and the island that his self-proclaimed masters come from, that's core to his entire character, like core to his whole goal and his dream and his character development. If we're going to say, well, Usopp's out of his league, how many arcs are we going to keep Usopp out of the league of these other characters if we never give him a chance to do anything or grow? Well, yeah, he's going to be stuck in East Blue level until the end of the story. Then that's never going to get fixed.
Yeah.
We need to give him opportunities. So this is the next point. With the Dami Reversi, I had a huge problem with how this was handled because Dorian Brogy were Dami Reversi'd, and the people that fought them were like Zoro and a couple of the other giants. Where was Usopp? If you created a scenario as an author, the perfect scenario to test Usopp, where you have him, you give him an excuse to go all out against the guys he looked up to. Why wouldn't you use that opportunity? Why isn't Usopp fighting them? He should have been fighting to stop Dorian Brogy and to bring them back to like normal. Meanwhile, he's cheerleading the whole time.
Yeah.
So this is where we get to the God Knights. Just to wrap up my long answer here, I think we didn't need so many God Knights. I think the fact that we have so many here is actually serving to cheapen them, because every God Knight, in my opinion, they're the highest level of, I guess, force in the world government hierarchy. They're just below the Gorosei. Every God Knight should be a force to be reckoned with. We dropped 3 on the island. A bunch of them are being played up for jokes. They're getting smacked around by the Straw Hats. And now we've already seen you know, what the God Knights are capable of. We've seen it. Now we even have Emu on the island, and now we see what Emu's capable of.
Yeah.
So when we finally get to the final war, whenever the final war happens, a lot of the mystery, a lot of the threatening atmosphere that these characters gave off, it's going to be a lot thinner because we're going to get there. We've already seen a lot of this already. We've had the reveals happen. We know what kind of power level we're working with. There's not as much mystery. There's not as much you know, there's not as many things up in the air. That's a question like, can they really handle them? Can they fight them? More is actually going to dilute that. If you put more God Knights in there, it's going to make the God Knights feel less threatening, I think, long term. You don't want to have them be Team Rocket, coming back, fighting, getting knocked away, coming back, fight them again. Like, we should have saved that. I think we blew that too early. But,
Yeah.
you know, that's it.
No, I feel that
The
for
way the
sure.
holiness will feel better is if the rest that we haven't seen yet are just like leagues above Sommers and Killingham.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if it turns out that, you know, Killingham and Sommers go home and they, you know, they get their heads stuffed into like a toilet or something, like they're being bullied by the other God Knights, then it's fine. You know, if they're introduced as like the weakling trio of the God Knights, I think a lot of people would like that a lot more. It's
Yeah.
just that the villains we have, minus Emu, they've been kind of disappointing. Like, you know, the whole thing of like saying, oh, you know, the Straw Hats are a Yonko crew. We shouldn't be, you know, dealing with this anymore. We shouldn't be struggling. At the end of the day, you know, One Piece it's a shonen, man. Like, we need good battles. Like,
Yeah.
Usopp aside, Straw Hats aside, the people want fights. Oh, what is that term? Like, oh, the people crave the gladiatorial arenas.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
shit, man. You know, like everybody here loves good fights, and nobody can deny it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, hell, look at the most popular anime out there right now. The animes that sell the most in the box office. They're all based around fighting, whether it's JJK or Demon Slayer. Like, we're all meatheads at the end of the day, man. I hope Oda continues this route with Loki and Emu, and we extend that grace to the God Knights, and even with the Maki buff, it kind of sucks that, you know, if they do give good battles now, that it's all, you know, dependent on Emu. I think that's a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask with you guys. Oh, my bad, Ian. Go before I talk.
Yeah. Sorry, I just want to add this real quick. I was just gonna say that to add on to the thing people were saying about the Gods Knights. I don't think this is a hot take, but it seems like right now the only one that's seems like they're getting some importance of hype is Shamrock, since he was the one that kind of came and went. The big reveal of, oh, Shanks' brother, and then Oda's kind of, I don't know if anyone else took this as like a power scaling kind of hype, but when in the Herald flashback, when Garling was like, oh yeah, like Shanks could end up being on the same level of Shamrock at some point, you know, when they thought Shanks was on their side. So it's like he seems to be the only important one so far, but I know we got like what, 5 more that we still have to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I had to add.
And hey, he said he could beat Loki's ass, so, you know, there's also that if you want to believe him.
So look,
Yeah.
it's a couple of things that I just want to touch on just real quick, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Laz, I don't know what you were. I don't know if you're about to change the subject, but I just wanted to stick on here real quick. So this is what I'll say, right? It sounds like y'all are expecting Usopp to be like
Usopp.
yeah. It sounds like y'all expecting Usopp to be like a combatant or to get stronger or something like that. And so I beg the question, like, why do y'all still expect that? Yeah, why do y'all still expect that from Usopp when you saw that he got hockey and Oda has done nothing with it ever since? Like, he's
I
done
think he's
nothing.
gonna be-
Even in Wano, he did nothing with it. In the fight where every single Straw Hat got a battle, got a one-on-one, so it seemed. Usopp didn't do anything prevalent like with his hockey, and you know, I know he unlocked it, but I feel like if like that, it's all fluff at the end of the day because Oda hasn't done anything with it since, right?
Yeah.
Another thing too is Usopp is like the most human out of all of the Straw Hats on the crew. So when I expected Usopp to have his moment, or for Elbaph to be his arc, it doesn't even necessarily have to be from a power sense necessarily, right? Like, I think some of the best writing that Oda did was during Water 7 when he had the internal conflict with the crew. Okay, Usopp was the star in that because he was the one that was showing vulnerability for, or he was our voice, or like he was the voice for all the Straw Hats not wanting to get rid of the Mary and questioning the captain. right? So he represents that human aspect, and I feel like Oda like drops the ball continuously with Usopp as like especially in the realm of character writing. Like Usopp regresses and then or he's just stagnant or just does absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And so I just ask y'all like is it, if y'all are expecting this in Elbaph, where is all of that in every other arc? Like, why
Yeah.
are we just expecting for his character to be better or um to blossom in Elbaph? And then the last thing, right?
Hmm.
Usopp's dream. Okay, he wants to be a brave warrior of the sea. Usopp is already a brave warrior of the sea. Him being a member of a Yonko crew, he's already gone way further than what he thought that he was going to be.
Mm.
So, like, I feel like his dream of being a brave warrior of the sea, like, is there a certain event that happens that culminates him being a brave warrior of the sea? Is he not actively a brave warrior of the sea right now? Presently in this day with
No,
a bounty of 500 billion
I
500 million berries.
I
no,
think it's
he's not.
questionable right now though, Matt, because of the way at least how I look at it with Usopp and stuff for me personally, it's like, we talk about him being this brave warrior of the sea. I'm not looking in the sense of like he's gotta wait until Elbaph to become that. But from the moment Dressrosa happened, you got the hockey, show me stuff. And I would say show me stuff in terms of you standing on 10 toes. Even don't be scared about nothing. Even if you catch a licking, you're still gonna stand and fight. Wano was a good opportunity for that with the tag match between Ulti and Page 1 and stuff. But realistically, who came out the best of that tag team match? It was Nami. Nami was standing on 10 toes, busted open with blood, talking about, no, I'm not going to say nothing on Luffy's name. No, that's going to be my King of the Pirates. Where was, like, for Usopp, it's like, I'm trying to see you, like, you guys stand up on that, right? And my thing with him, though, is that, like, going into, like, Elbaph, like, the moment that like capitulates all that kind of stuff afterwards is that all the things that he's doing to build himself up, or for a moment where he can actually like show like in his own standalone moment that he can be that. He could still do that maybe after Elbaph and everything, but I feel like that is like the perfect time to really show this is all the growth that he's gotten, this is all the time Oda had for him, and then right here, boom, like we're seeing little pieces here and there that showcase that. And the only times I can really speak on maybe some ways that he showed that he was a brave warrior, or at least was when he was talking to the bunch of the swordsmen and stuff during the raid, where he's saying like, like this is war. At the end of the day, we gotta stand, we gotta fight, do all this and that. But you only do so much with talking. You have to showcase that. And I feel like that again, that's a lot of problems with Oda, where it's like because of how massive this story has become, it's like if you start focusing on this thing, something gets forgotten about. Which is why I wanted to tie into the thing I was going to bring up earlier was regarding Oda, and I guess with Jump as a whole. Because obviously we've heard the thing with Oda saying, I only can get 18 pages a week to write the story. There's only so much I can do in those 18 pages. And I'm just thinking to myself, is it the reason Weekly Shonen Jump right now, at the very moment, is active because One Piece exists? Without One Piece right now in the magazine, how many years would y'all give it until Weekly Shonen Jump, starts to go down in the ranks and stuff in terms of money, all that stuff, whatever? I'm just thinking, like, for myself personally, like, I don't know, maybe you guys feel this way too, that you think, like, because again, Togashi can take as much time as he wants, relax, heal up, then write his chapters. This is the guy that literally is keeping the roof over Weekly Shonen Jump, that Oda could literally just ask, if I want another extra page, 2 pages, and it helps flesh out this story. Like, do you think that Oda, like, are we asking, like, as a fan, myself, like, am I asking too much for Oda to be asking for that? You know what I mean?
And 2
I don't
pages
think
is
so.
gonna amount to anything less.
Okay.
I think
I-
that
like-
you spend so many pages on like random things that aren't that important. Why
Right,
don't
but
you
I'm saying
use
like
some
when
of
he's
that
so when he
time?
cuts down from those 18 pages, what I mean is like he's basically like all those ideas that he had, he's cutting down, he's giving it this right now, like whatever's there in those 18 pages. But then when we look at it, it's like I think we could have took out this or that, or if you had those extra pages, he could fit all his ideas in there and maybe flesh them out a little bit better. Like,
Yeah, I mean, more would be nice. But Oda's also like, I mean, I'm not one of the people that are like, oh my god, he's working on the live action and not putting focus on the manga. But
yeah,
like, he clearly has his focus like saturated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, maybe if there was a petition out there, 100,000 of us got a sub, one big YouTuber sent
Yeah.
over an SBS. Hey, 200,000 of us believe you deserve an extra page. Maybe he would get it. I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
what it would take.
He's not in his prime though, too. Like that's another thing. Like
yeah,
we're talking about 18 pages
Yeah.
here. There's some weeks where we only get 13 pages or 15 pages. Like he doesn't even hit the 16 usually. So
mean,
Mhm.
you know.
I mean, look, I don't even think it's necessarily that he needs more pages. Just make better use of the pages that you're already putting out. So
Or just
like,
kill some of the straw hats and narrow the
Exactly.
focus.
I
there's
agree.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
on the
there's
I
like
Usopp
agree.
part, right? Like I think to what Matt was asking,
Mhm.
it's just the direction. Like Dami Reversi focus for Usopp would have been great, but there's thousands of directions that you could have chosen. For me, and as an example, I kind of think of like you remember what Kizaru did for Luffy on Egghead. He apparently
Mhm.
was the fast one who got him the food in secrecy, and that's like it was like nobody noticed. It was support and it came out of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
Usopp is
Yeah.
a sniper. Usopp, like the way I imagine Usopp takes on Emu doesn't even know. Usopp should be on the Atom Tree in the middle of the island, just snipe, 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 snipe. Oh,
Yeah.
there's somebody snipe.
Yeah.
And that's how a sniper works. Snipers aren't noticed, but then you know it'd be sick. Brook is like getting his ass whooped by Gunko, right? And
Mhm.
then all of a sudden, boom, something
Just beams him.
hits
Yep.
Gunko. And then Brook has a moment of opportunity. Gunko has no idea what's happening,
Yeah.
but Brook would know. Brook would be like, oh my God, that's Usopp. That's my boy. You know what I'm saying? And then on the same end at the library, it's like, what's happening over there? Killingham's rocking Kiba or whatever the
Yeah.
teacher's name
Yeah.
was. And then there's another dude, snipe, snipe, snipe. And that's what Usopp needs to be doing.
Yeah.
Nobody cares for him to have a Dressrosa-like moment ever again.
Yeah.
All we care about him to be a human and do what he needs to do. Running up on Emu as a sniper is probably the least useful thing that he could have done, but he got the words in, and sure, that's dope. But the thing is, how many times can that physically happen? And I remember I told this aside. I said, like, bro, if this is JJK, Usopp's dead. Like, Usopp is
Yeah. About
just
this
dead.
point in
got
time,
gone,
yeah, I know
bro.
it would been
And
GG's by then.
dude, it's
Yeah.
one of those things too, like the whole brave warrior thing. We can all acknowledge that he's a pretty brave warrior, right? Making it to the new world, that's not an easy task.
Right.
But if you were to ask Usopp today, like, hey, are you a brave warrior? He might say no. Like in his mind, he hasn't reached.
He's still
that
not
level
there
yet.
yet and stuff.
He's still
Yeah.
not there, you know. And when it comes to fights, like I don't even think the craziest Usopp fans think that he might actually beat Emu. It's more so like, yeah, he's gonna do exactly what Park said, right? He's gonna snipe him. It's gonna be a really good fight
Yeah.
at a moment where Emu's vulnerable, and it just
Mhm.
pushes him over the edge. I don't know if
Mhm.
you guys watched Dragon Ball Z, like the Cooler movie. That's one of my favorite movies out.
Oh, the first one,
At
right?
the
Yeah.
very end,
Yeah.
the
So
first
good.
one,
It's
yeah,
so
at
good.
the
It's so
very
good.
end, Goku's on the ground, Gohan's right there, and Salza shows up after Cooler gets defeated, and he's about to kill him. He's about
Yep.
to kill Goku. And then guess what happens? Special beam cannon comes out from like the mountaintop, and it kills Salza.
Yeah.
And they don't see Piccolo, but they're like, oh, it was Piccolo. And then Piccolo's aura farming like in fucking Virginia, and then that's the end of the movie. That's all Usopp has to do.
hey, Laz, turn
Yep.
Sai up to 200%. If
I
you
did.
don't
I
already. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
You're good. You're good. I have on 200%. Oh, we got a super chat right there. I always love those, man. Arnav, my boy with the $20, bro. I greatly appreciate it. Got it to gozaimasu, man. My boy says real quickly, hey
That's
Laz,
actually $20.
shout out, man. Hey Laz, you know how people theorize that Blackbeard could get another Devil Fruit, specifically in Mythical Zone. Could Blackbeard potentially steal Emu's Devil Fruit? How would you feel if that happens? I mean, we still don't know what the third one's supposed to be in terms of the Devil Fruit that he's going to be chasing after. I mean, it kind of feels like now in way like similar to what his dad was doing. He was after those two Devil Fruits. He's looking for the one. Maybe it might be Emu's for all we know. But yeah, what do you guys think real quickly before we go back on the topic?
I've been saying for a while that Blackbeard, his MO, the way he operates every time he shows up, it's always to swoop in at the end after all the hard work has been done by everyone else.
Mhm.
He did that in Marineford. He did that at Impel Down, right? He rode off the coattails, basically, of Luffy's breakout to get his crew. He went to Marineford after the war was basically done and then sniped the Devil Fruits for himself. He seems to do this sort of thing where he plays dirty. He doesn't want to do a straight-on, head-on battle. That's why when Rayleigh showed up, remember, with Kobe and Boa, Blackbeard, he did not want to stick around for that. He is a coward. He's a coward in that way. He doesn't want to seek head-on conflict. For him, he's looking at what's happening right now in the world and the chaos, and obviously he clearly has some knowledge of Rox because of, his ship and everything. He is Rox's son. He knows what Emu's about. I think he knows something about the Devil Fruit power as well, and if he was going to do anything, I would say that at the end of the story or towards the end of the war or whatever, Emu's pretty much on his last legs. Luffy is also tired out. Blackbeard comes in out of nowhere takes the power, and now Blackbeard is like unstoppable. I think that's
Yeah.
what his goal is.
Because I'm not mistaken, Matt, we talked about this in the last Yap piece. I'm pretty sure you're the one that brought up the idea that Blackbeard could potentially still pull up on Elbaph towards the end. I think it was you. I remember a Dak. I can't remember which one. But we talked about this before in the last one, yeah.
Yeah, I think I said something similar to that because I have Blackbeard as the final villain. Of One
Same.
Piece.
Same.
So I think that Blackbeard is going to. I think he's gonna kill Emu. I don't know really like. I don't know about the 3 devil fruit thing. It's kind of. It's like.
I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, I don't know if it's necessary or not. Like it was. I think after Marineford, it was something that people have been theorizing a lot more on, and then it's kind of like dwindled down a little bit. I mean, because people think that like Mu is like an entity that is like taking over whoever Saint Nerona's body or
Yeah.
whatever, kind of like on some Black Zetsu shit.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know if like Blackbeard tries to absorb Emu and then and he ends up absorbing Mu instead. I don't really know. I don't think Blackbeard's getting 3 devil fruits anymore. I think I've kind of like just let that kind of go.
I guess you guys.
It's possible.
I'm kind of
It's possible he
with
doesn't.
Matt. I'm kind of in between. I could see Blackbeard just staying with what he has, especially with one of the powers being a devil fruit canceling ability, which means like he's automatically broken against majority devil fruit users.
Right.
So I could totally see him just staying with what he has now. I could also see Oda just going the route of giving it to him just because he has like a personal grudge against Emu, you can argue. So it's like I could go either way with it. I'm kind of 50-50 at this point, but if he doesn't get it, I'm not mad about it.
And I'll just say one last thing about it, right? Like, so I know some people. I'm not looking at the chat or anything yet, but I know some people are saying like Blackbeard is kind of going after the 2 devil fruits that his dad wanted to go after, right? But I think those 2 devil fruits were Blackbeard's and Luffy's.
Yeah.
So I don't think Blackbeard's gonna get Luffy's fruit. So and that's the only other credence like that I can think of for the 3 devil fruit theory. But if it happens, it happens. I really thought that Blackbeard was going to take Marco's fruit.
Okay. Rebirth of the Phoenix and stuff.
To counteract the
double damage that he takes.
The drawback on the Yami Yami fruit. That's what I initially thought whenever the 3 devil fruit theory came out. But then when the payback war was revealed, I was like, oh, okay, well, he didn't take Marco's fruit.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing I'd have to push back with is like, all right, so like Emu is the king of the world. Blackbeard is clearly taken after Zebek, who wanted to be king of the world, supposedly. If that goal is to happen, that means that Emu has to go down. If Emu goes down, and we're assuming that Emu has a devil fruit power, it's not something else like demon possession or something, like it's an actual fruit power. If Emu dies, that fruit has to go somewhere. That has to pop up again.
Yeah.
That's a nuke just sitting around for anyone to take.
Yeah, and Blackbeard's not letting that go.
Gonna take that. He's not gonna let that go. If he knows Emu's devil fruit is gonna reincarnate and that fruit's gonna be around, why wouldn't Blackbeard take that? That's like the entire thing that he does as a character is take the powerful things for himself.
What if Oda takes the devil fruit and he hides it and nobody ever finds it, like Toki's devil fruit?
That would be kind of crazy. I can't lie.
I mean,
that would be wild.
That just leaves a big question, right? Because doesn't that just leave the question of like, is it really going to be peace after this story is over? Like, there's now Emu's devil fruit.
I would imagine we'll find it some way somehow.
There's
Maybe
reality or I mean, the other part of it is we don't know if it is a devil fruit, right? The ability said devil's fruit. But like what we're seeing out of it, it could be some kind of like primordial version. Like kind of, I said this in the same way too. Like if people could envision this, like Bonnie, what's stopping Bonnie from, if she can turn, just by imagining it, if she can turn into Luffy as Nika, then what's stopping Bonnie from imagining a world where she turns into Emu? And the thing is, it's like and the same thing could go with Blackbeard as well too, like multiple devil fruits. Bonnie's fruit may very well be an extract out of what Emu has. And I think a lot of people got a vibe off of Emu when Emu first showed up, that Emu wasn't necessarily like, we know for a fact that Emu transformed. Like Emu transformed into something that's constantly growing wings, growing out of wings, and that kind of thing. So are they using multiple devil fruits at the same time? That's what a lot of people kind of got the feeling for. And so then it's like, okay, so then does Emu have a devil fruit, or does Emu have like the original thing that created the devil fruits, which is why the ability is called Devil's Fruit. And so, and it's written in katakana to make it extra, you know, illustrious,
special, and all that.
Yeah. So there's a world where Emu doesn't have a devil fruit, and everyone's trying to recreate that kind of thing. And so the question then becomes a more play on like who can use it the best, or who can use imagination as the best. And this all kind of goes back to like the same thing with Maki. Like Maki is kind of like, in a weird way, I've been talking about this at the beginning of the channel, that there would be a new kind of hockey, and now it's demonic aura hockey called Maki. And it's like this random fourth kind of thing that we don't really know. So now that Oda created this other like pathway for power, I think it kind of shifts that like Emu might be breaking the boundaries of the power in a lot of ways, which is why I don't think Blackbeard may necessarily be getting Emu's fruit. Even if Emu were to pass, or Emu were to be killed, it might be, maybe Blackbeard's like, oh damn, this isn't a devil fruit power. Like that might be the realization that Blackbeard has. Or maybe Blackbeard already knows. I feel like that's the type of info that he would already know. But at the end of the day, like that might be the Emu like barrier that puts Emu above or set aside from the characters that we have in our handful. And Blackbeard, maybe, you know, in another separate thinking, I was thinking that Blackbeard gets more than one devil, like more than 3, meaning that he was collecting his crew's devil fruits all to be awakened, so that he can get all of them and combine them to be like a top musica level deity kind of thing. And then he would recreate what Emu is in a lot of ways. And so, you know, it's, I think, you know, with Emu's powers, we're still in like a very versatile state. We got to see what this Maki business is. Is it just countered by Conqueror's Haki, or do you need like what are people calling it? Jockey Gaki, Haki? Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a good way to segue though into the next thing. So, which I'm glad you brought up Maki, because Eden, go ahead.
Sorry, lads. Sorry. Real quick thing I just wanted to add to the Blackbeard point. More so just in the argument of if Oda does go the route of him getting Emu's fruit, I think that would be the perfect moment for Oda to give us the reveal on how he can have 2 devil fruit powers at once currently. Now, you know, I'm of the theory that it's because of the Yami Yami, but obviously it's not confirmed yet. So I think like narrative wise, it would be a good moment to reveal how he can do this if he does go and take Emu's fruit. But yeah, my fault. You can go ahead.
No, you're good. I appreciate putting it in there. But I was gonna ask you guys, because obviously Par brought up the stuff with Maki and stuff, and I wanted to ask you guys now, like, how are we feeling so far about Maki being introduced as kind of like this, you know, Haki is supposed to, I guess, represent like the angels and like willpower and stuff that's there, and Maki's like this demonic energy and everything, right? Especially with the stuff with the Omen, it seems like it's giving like a Zenkai boost to the God's Knight so they can get involvement again later in this arc. But primarily just on the stuff with Maki, because I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I'm starting to feel like Oda, I think, is starting to get an idea of how he wants to illustrate Haki, at least for people when they want to look at a power system and what its full capabilities are and how it works and all that, because he's introduced Maki. So from what you guys seen so far of it, what do you make of it? Do you think that Oda has his, like, does he have an idea of what he's doing with it? Or do you have to see a little bit more before I can give credit to the guy that probably had an idea long ago that this was the plan all along?
I think, I mean, I've always, the first videos on this channel said, there's going to be a 4th Haki, and we don't know like which direction Oda's gonna go with it. Like for me personally, demonic aura Haki isn't what I would have named it, but like the way I envisioned it was kind of like sage energy from Naruto, that there would be like, if you could use Haki from within, and this is before Vegapunk said it, but he was like, there's energy within everything. And we just saw Lilith just use like the ODCs to gather energy from the fires and stuff like that. So I was thinking, hey, why isn't there like elemental like energy that can be tapped into. And so I think that for like the credence to all like nearly half of the videos on my channel where I'm like, hey guys, this might be something else.
Yeah.
Like I feel like because that was set up and I've talked about that there was always an inkling towards something else. And now with Maki, now the question is, what is Oda going to put in that box? Like I've been talking with Sai a bunch about this, but now that we have the Black Flames concretely as Maki, now we kind of have to look at Lucci's awakening. Lucci's awakening having the black Hagoromo scarf versus Luffy's white Hagoromo scarf, and it being called demonic aura, and Lucci being a demonic assassin leopard person. It kind of makes you feel like that was also Maki. Like somehow the awakenings of these Zoans have these Maki clouds, and that goes to the Gorosei too. Like the Gorosei had like what looked like Gear 4 tattoos on their bodies, and that could be Maki too. When Luffy's in Gear 4, he's like this angry version of himself, like the Nightmare Luffy. So it might be that Maki has some kind of like you could tap into it even as a Luffy, but I think that we do need to see probably like 2 more chapters of Imu using it, and then we'll get a good understanding of like, okay, Oda's locked in and he's not making shit up anymore. You know what I mean? Because right now it feels like making shit up. And that's what Loki's looking at, like, nah, this is made up. Like this is not real. You know, so like we need 2 more chapters to see what Oda's doing with it. Depending on what Oda pulls out, and this is Maki, then we'll know. Because the one part for me, and someone commented this, they're like, like the Maki, like Omen is like that is not in everybody. Imu had to give the Holy Knights like the thing, and I'm like, that's not what the chapter says. And the Holy Knights are terrible to like measure this with, but like I have a feeling that like Sanji and Zoro, they are the prime characters to be able to have demonic aura hockey.
I
like,
was gonna mention them,
to have. And like with Sommers, he's getting Omen like nobody's business. But what I don't want is for what people apparently believe, that now Sommers can beat Kaido with Omen.
What?
That is something
Oh,
that
man.
I just
A lot
cannot.
of people are saying that Sommers beats Kaido, beats Shanks now.
Yo.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
and
That's crazy.
I've been having to contest with that, and that is just unfathomable for me. Like I've always believed, for example, like Hidden had it before Gear 5 was revealed. One of his big Gear 5 things was that Luffy would become giant, right? And so that ended up being a thing. And for me, mine was the Kurama cloak. I always thought that Luffy would be able to rubberize other people. That low key is a thing now. But I also didn't think that like, oh, Luffy could just tap, Gear 5. I didn't think it'd be like that, right? And so on the same notion, I don't want Imu, especially to be an Omen merchant to the Holy Knights, and for them to be dog doo-doo, and then to be like, Omen, please. And then they get Omen, and now we're just dealing with Kaido level fighters. If people genuinely believe that, I just don't. I don't know why that's a thing, but that is a thing in both me and Sai's like communities. People have come like, yeah, no, Sommers is gonna be up there with Kaido now, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, I mean, and like before, oh, sorry, I'm just like, I got a supercharge real quick. I want to mess up on that real quick. But the Dream coming in with the 4.99. Arigato gozaimasu, fam. Says, gold lads. Hope you and the cast are doing great. Keep bringing us the peak. Love this content. Shout out Oda too. Fire emoji. I appreciate the donation, fam. Hidden. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt that.
No worries. You got it, bro. And thank you for the super dream. Yeah, so I was just I have a theory about the Maki thing, and it kind of ties into my earlier theory. So I think it was about a year or 2 ago I put out the theory about Imu and the Gorosei, basically that Imu, you know, in the time skip for Brook, right? When Brook was summoned by the devil worshippers and Brook showed up and there was the magic circle on the ground. I was theorizing that was a kind of like a type or a foreshadowing of what happened with Imu in the Void Century, where all the kings came together and they did some kind of ritual and formed a pact with an actual devil, not Brook, in the original version of it. And I think that there's a lot of credence to the idea that Imu doesn't have just, you know, a devil fruit, but Imu's actually kind of been possessed or made some kind of pact with the devil himself. I think the devil in the One Piece world is real. I think that Oda does take elements from Christianity and Buddhism and mixes them together. He clearly has shown that with Kuma's church with the cross that's supposed to represent Nika to some degree. The whole idea of Nika, disappearing and then coming back later, like having lost all those years ago, coming back. So there's this sort of connection, right? So where does Emu fall into that umbrella? My whole thing was that Emu is supposed to be a kind of a type of the devil or the antichrist, right? Where, Nerona Emu, the name Nerona, and I've seen people talk about this. I think Artur talked about this as well. But Nerona might be inspired by the Emperor Nero of ancient Rome, who was one of the most destructive emperors, completely horrible person. He persecuted heavily all of the Christians that were in the Roman Empire at the time. Where the same way the world government in One Piece heavily persecutes anyone that even so much as mentions Nika, right? So you have this kind of dynamic going on, but then you have an extra element that's been added onto it recently. So actually, before I get there, there is in history. So I'm going to do a little theorizing here.
Go ahead. This is the place to do it, man.
So in the history of that, after Emperor Nero's rule, there was a civil war. It was actually the first civil war of the Roman Empire at the time. Immediately after Nero's fall, towards the end of his reign. And it was a reign between the people that were trying to succeed Nero. Do you know what this war was called? It's called the Year of the Four Emperors.
Oh my god.
So there is a period of time directly following the downfall of Nero in ancient Rome where there were four emperors competing for the throne. Now you have in One Piece, if we're correct about Blackbeard, being the villain after Emu's down. If Emu goes down, we still have Blackbeard, Shanks, Buggy, and Luffy. These are the four emperors. They're all going to fight for the One Piece, fight for, I guess, the remaining throne. You have Emu making pacts with everybody, all these, all the God Knights, everyone that's making pacts with Emu, they enter a covenant with Emu. Whereas in the Christian faith, it's the same sort of thing, but the inverse, where there is a covenant with God that is made, and you have to, you go to church, you take communion, etc. There's a covenant that's being made there. So Emu is doing like a demonic inversion of that, where you make a covenant with Emu, and these covenants are named after things like the Deep Sea, the Deep Sea Pact, right? So now it brought me to wonder about, well, if Maki's a thing, why is it, that these are called the Deep Sea Pacts? Like, where is the Deep Sea? How does that relate to the demonic stuff? Well, you have the ocean in the story that has flooded the world. It's destroyed the world. It's hidden away all of its secrets. It's a dark, deep ocean that has sea kings that have been transformed in it, and it nullifies devil fruit powers. So could Maki be the reason that the ocean itself, rejects devil fruits, that the ocean does what it does, that the deep water does what it does to devil fruit users? And is Emu subject to that? I don't know. I don't think so. I think if anything, Emu could probably go in the water too, just fine, if I'm going by this train of thought.
Yeah.
But I think the Maki's related to everything, with the sea stone, with the ocean. I think all of that's the reason why devil fruit powers lose their strength. Devil fruit users lose their strength in the ocean. Why the Sea Kings were transformed and Zunisha was transformed. It's all this demonic energy that Emu is doing with these covenants. It's Emu's the devil. So I think this is where Oda's going with it. And I think that the whole, it does tie into what we were saying before, where after Emu goes down, there is going to be a One Piece version of the Year of the Four Emperors. I think that's coming next. So.
No, bro, that boy hitting cooked, man. You still got it, dog. You still got it, bro. Oh my god.
I always got it, brother. Always.
Dude, you talking about the four emperors, the throne? Nah, never, bro. That's why it's the hidden island, bro. They're supposed to be hidden away on the island, cooking, I'm saying? That's crazy
stuff.
Yeah,
I thought about making that into a video, but I've just been so busy with work. But anyway, you guys got it here, so that's good enough for me.
No.
There's
What
a
y'all
guy
think?
called Steel D Theory out there somewhere, ready to just take that away from you, Hidden.
I mean, look, as long as he cites, if he makes a video about it and he puts a clip of me explaining it, if he gives credit, I don't give a shit. You can do what you want.
It's gonna be him explaining it word for word, just standing right next to you.
He's gonna Photoshop himself in over me, like. Yeah,
he talks
That's
over
crazy.
you word for word.
Oh man. But I was meant to ask actually now with the whole stuff with the Emu basically. So obviously, of course, last piece. Oh my god, we got another donation. Jeez. just that's how you guys shut me up, man. You want to answer questions, man? Just donate. It's really good. Arnav came in with a 50 bomb. Damn. Okay. I appreciate it. I got to go Zymos, fam. He says, "Hey lads, I want to ask all in the podcast something. When we get to the Void Century flashback, what types of characters or events do you want to see, regardless of whether Oda shows it or not? My pick is I want to see Joy Boy's crew. How about y'all? Chime in at any point. I'll save mine for last."
I gotta think about this one. This is a big one.
Yeah.
I'll say this. I would like to see the creation of the ancient weapons, since right now it's implied that they caused the world to initially be destroyed, or at least at some point in the Void Century. I want that, and I want to see how exactly the process was done that made it the Void Century, because that's 100 years we're talking about. Like, was it just like some, like, I don't know, Emu used Maki? Now that we know that exists, was it just Maki and Emu somehow had that go across the whole world and everyone just forgot about this 100-year gap, but there's still like the remnants out there that only the D clan remember and stuff like that? So I would say the ancient weapons and just how they were able to wipe out these 100 years.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that would be crazy to see. I mean, Poseidon would be the toughest one probably to show off, because that involves 1 + 1 = 2 or 3 or 4.
But with Eden's point, I think it's hard to say because I want to see every question answered. But I think the hardest question for Oda to answer is that Void Century question, because it's kind of like the same thing with Nika, where when we got Nika's name, we were like, oh my god, wow, that's crazy. There's like who's who talking about Nika, like this secret thing that like prisoners talk about. And then we got Kuma, and then after Kuma talked about Nika, it's like everybody kind of knew what Nika was. And it's like, it was kind of like with the Gorosei too. When the Gorosei showed up, that random Navy guy was like, oh my god, that picture of Saturn, bro, I saw him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird because we thought that a lot of this was in secrecy. And I kind of am like, and we're kind of getting more and more of this where like we're getting moments, I don't know if this got cleared up with the official translations, but with like Loki going around the oceans and then Emu not knowing that it was Loki. And then like there's a giant dragon flying around, the largest dragon in the world. And it's like Emu couldn't put the ABCs together to figure out that that was Nidhogg and figure out that like, oh my God, Loki's also flying at Harold's son. Nidhogg is with him. He must be Nidhogg on Elbaph. And it's like those ABCs are so easy to put together. And that's where I feel like Oda's created so many data points for the Void Century not to get lost, because so many places have been collecting history. Ohara was one, the Tatas were another. We have like the moon involved too. It's like there's a lot of places where it's like, how do you erase that history? So however Oda does that is really, really, I think, finicky, really hard. And I think I don't want Oda to skip it, and the reason, like, I'm getting flashbacks of Attack on Titans, of like, how did the Titans come to play? And there's this little worm thing, and I'm like, God, what about this worm? Why it just goes in? No, stop it! Stop it!
Here we go.
Hammer going around hitting people on the head, and they just forget. It's something super goofy.
Dude, that's my worst. As soon as I saw that on Attack on Titans. And sorry for spoilers if people.
No, I mean, enough time has passed.
Okay, enough time has passed. As soon as I saw that, the first thing I said to the people who were like paying attention to me watching it, I pray this does not happen to the Void Century of One Piece, because like there's so many things that we need explained in the thing, but that is one of the ones that like is a long-standing question that Oda created like a mechanism around. How did we erase it? It's called the blank century. Why? How? You know what I mean? Robin's been searching for this. Robin better not be pissed, is what I'm saying. When Robin gets the truth, she'll be like, what? I want Robin to be satisfied by the end of it. That's
no, for sure.
goal.
Before we continue on the part there, we got another donation from Hishaku Kaido with the $5. Arigatou gozaimasu. Like the stream, everyone. Subs to everyone here. By the way, Yura is misunderstood. Have a good stream though, my guy. Shout out to Yura. Shout out to Kagurabachi. I'm not sure if I feel that way too, but we're gonna talk about that definitely in due time.
Yura's justified, Akimura's justified, my guy.
Hey man, shout out to Kagurabachi, phenomenal series. If you haven't read it yet, the time is now. # here before the anime. But for Hidden, I don't know if you guys have anything else you want to say on that part. What else you want to see with the Void Century? I mean, there's a lot of stuff I could definitely think of, and I'm sure you might have one idea right
Um,
now. So, Matt, what about you?
oh,
Too? Oh,
I didn't know if you was going in any order.
oh, I
I
mean,
meant
you
to
just
hit
chime
it.
in. Listen, yeah, peace, but you just chime in anytime you want to interrupt, bro. You got it.
Fair enough. I don't want to interrupt anybody though. But I
You
mean,
good?
truthfully, what I want to see, the main thing I want to see from the Void Century is Toki.
Mm,
Hey, that's a good one. That's a good one.
fair enough. I respect it.
Good.
I
That's a good
respect that.
point.
That's a
Like,
good one.
like what made Toki go the 800 years into the future?
Yeah.
Like,
Technically, she didn't. Technically, she jumped multiple times. She was
yeah,
28 years into the Void Century or something like that. And then she jumped some years and then some years and then some years.
Semantics. You know exactly what he meant.
yeah.
No, I
You know
know.
I'm
what?
It's
about to
just
say
funny.
fart's funny, bro.
No. It's funnier that way because Joy Boy said like 800 years in the future, and Toki didn't jump immediately. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So like she jumped an arbitrary amount
I
many
mean,
times.
you want to see what's happening around you, though. To be fair.
Well, that,
Yeah.
That's true. That's
but
true.
It just
I
keeps
think
getting
that she
worse.
did it. So truthfully, I hope, or I hope that she did that purposely, because that'd be weird for her to just jump into Odin and Roger's time, coincident, like,
Yeah.
or whatever. So that's
What if she had
the
a
main
whole ass
thing.
family? What if she had
Uh,
a whole ass family?
What you mean?
Well,
Oh,
Back
like
in the Void
Momonosuke and
Century.
Hiyori weren't the first. Like she gave birth in the Void Century.
Damn, poor
Yeah.
Odin, bro.
Oh,
oh wow.
there's
And
there's a
then
TV
Wow,
show like
okay.
this too, where they
and
the mom time skips and then they have sex with their son.
well, there.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. All
Well,
right.
Okay.
What
well,
the
look.
fuck?
There's another thing too. There's another
Hey,
thing.
man.
I want to see how because they said that the Kozuki clan was the ones that um
The
Made the
did the
poneglyphs and
writing,
poneglyphs.
everything. Yep. Yep.
Oh, the
made the
writing, yeah.
poneglyphs, and Toki is a
Yes.
Kozuki. So I'm
Wait.
just
Yeah.
just wondering. I that's what I want to see. I want to see like what made her want to go forth, and then this prophecy that she had was the time, like, is the time fruit something that was um only within like her clan, or with her,
Well,
like, within her family? Is this like a mission that was passed down like through her
It's
family
possible.
generation by generation? Like, I think Toki is the biggest thing from the Void Century, because
no,
she's the
I
only character that we know of
That was
from the
from
Void
that
That's from
time and
Century.
there.
stuff. Yeah, like she
Yeah,
literally,
yes, I
yeah, she
agree.
had to have
I
seen what
agree.
was going with the wars and stuff, and being told at a point in time, like, you got to let the streets know in the future what's happening, so they know what's going on after. But I feel like that is gonna be interesting because then it's like it gives reason for Oda not highlighting her so much on that period of time, because we're gonna focus back on her. She's gonna just basically like the messenger that just didn't get the message across until like towards the end with the whole Dawn and stuff. Which I wouldn't be shocked though, honestly, if like it's revealed that like she was like in and around about like with Joy Boy and Emmett and all the people that were there that kind of knew all that stuff, and we just got the bare minimum of that, and then just the whole thing instead. I definitely want to see that though, Matt, for sure.
Damn.
I want to see the
Yeah,
technology. I
kinda
want to
sucks
see
with
what
Toki,
the.
Yeah, that too.
I want
Yeah.
to see what kind of tech they were working with back then because I
But
think I think they were more advanced than what Vegapunk's got.
yeah,
Can
I mean,
I want to add this real quick to what you were saying about the technology hidden. Okay, real quick before I spoil anybody, has anybody read or watched Fire Force?
I know more or less the
Here and
connection to
here
a
and
certain
there, I
series I
don't I
love,
don't care to
but
get spoiled on it though. Do your
Yeah,
thing.
Okay.
drop it.
Okay. So basically, what the story does is, I'll be as vague as possible. What the story does is that we find out that the timeline we're living in is actually like a post-apocalyptic world, and that the previous world was modern civilization like we have right now.
Mhm.
So what you were saying, hidden with the technology, I'm wondering if Oda's going to go that route, where it's like it's a lot more like today, where we see cars, maybe planes, or it looks a lot more like modern civilization, since they're talking about how advanced the tech was. And then now it's like the most advanced thing is Frankie building the Sunny, a ship that could go like 50 feet in the air.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like if we're gonna see the ancient world, I think it's gonna be this kind of blend of like old architecture, old cultures, old civilization with like more futuristic technology. I think the first thing I'd point to as an example is like the Arc Maxim. I
Yeah.
think we're gonna see because you see what Shandora looks
That's a
like.
good
It
one.
doesn't look like a hyper tech, like Wonderland. But once Shandora is you know, it's very old. It's not exactly the same as it was in the Void Century. It's been moved as far as I'm aware, right? Because I'm pretty sure Shandora does date back that far, doesn't it? It's just that when we find it in the Skypiea flashback, this is like way after, so they've kind of lost that history. But they, you know, I think things like the Arc Maxim still coexisted with those like classical civilizations. So we might see something that's like I was mentioning earlier, Rome. I had this whole thing about Rome piece where like the ancient kingdom was kind of going to look like ancient Rome. It was going to have the columns, the marble statues, things like that. But I could see that mixed with futuristic, like crazy tech.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's funny you bring up the Maxim too there on Hidden, because like back in the, like I want to say back in the day, like it was like not like a few years back and stuff. But when I know, like we were talking about before, like, you know, what the ancient weapons like Uranus, what it could be. I know some people thought it would be a flying bird. Some people thought it would probably be the thing that destroyed the Lucia, whatever it is that Emu had. The idea that I had at the time was possibly an airship. And it's kind of interesting that we haven't had anything since the Maxim that has anything to do with flying. And if that technology did exist previously in the previous worlds and all that, I think it would be really cool, like a flying ship is what Uranus is. Because again, the god of the sky, we have one that's land, we have one that's the sea, and now we have one of the sky. I think that would be like the crazy, like, because that would be the thing that takes it, like the whole world building thing, like, oh my god. Because imagine, like, if that's a thing that you can use to go to space, which everyone has been talking about, the idea that maybe one day we're going to go to the moon and learn about the stuff with the automatas and all that stuff there. I mean, I hope it is. That's like what I would love for it to be. But if it's a flying bird, cool. That'll be awesome too.
Maybe it's Big News Morgan's ship.
Well, you know what? Now that I'm glad you brought up Big News Morgan's, because have you guys seen the theory that's been going around on social media about him potentially being a Lunarian?
What? Or like he's like a devil fruit user?
Yeah, so like, you know how his devil fruit's kind of masking his true appearance and everything, that he might actually be a Lunarian. It's crazy. If I can find that tweet afterwards, I'll send it to you guys. But when I was reading up on it, I was a bit shook. That's what you don't think right now. But
oh, he paints his feathers white every morning.
Yeah,
man. He dibbles and dabbles, man. So that you know.
He's a white facer? That's crazy. Morgan's being white face would be wild.
Hey, man.
Would you rather go white face or would you rather go like the King Gimp suit route for all your life?
King's was a choice. He didn't need to do that. He was on the island anyways. He was on Wano stuck. Like, his own ops would have been his friends. Like, he didn't need to hide his face.
And they were ready to sell him out. You see that? They were like, they're fucking talking
and
about,
how
like,
would
hey,
they? Yeah, just kill him.
Like, the minute they saw a king, they said, "Yo, you want to sell this guy out, man? Come on."
That's crazy.
Honestly, I'm not. I wouldn't say a gimp suit is ever cool, but like King made it work. You know.
You know what the sad part is?
For a job at JP Chase Morgan's.
Bro, I mean, that's the seventh time I heard it today now. That's crazy. But you know what? I wanted to move on for the GIMP thing, but now, unfortunately, I've just remembered that there was a clip. I don't know, Si, if you've probably seen it, of a certain streamer having a new pet in the form of...
I saw that.
Yeah, I was just like... Damn, you saw it too? I was just like, bro, what are we doing, bro? What are we doing?
We pay for that shit.
Hey. That must be crazy donations, though. I can't lie. Yeah. But to segue, this hey, don't search it up, Par. Yeah, just don't even go incognito, man. But I was gonna say for going back into this, segueing back to the One Piece stuff after. Well, no. Hey, man, shout out to him. But you know the stuff that's going on right now with the Emu. How do you guys feel so far of what you've seen on display of their powers and what they've been capable of? Because obviously the last half piece we saw the appearance, but then again, it's like we need to see stuff. Now we're seeing some stuff, but you know, are you impressed right now with just seeing little bits? Obviously, you want to see more of it, and obviously, what that's going to be leading to is the title for this week's stream and stuff. The reunion happens next chapter. And what I mean by that is, do you guys believe we are going to see a full-fledged fight between Emu versus Luffy in this arc, or are we just going to get a little bit of a scrap going on between them before Emu skedaddles back to Marijoa, considering I think they probably are on a time limit right now at the moment. But what do you guys make of that?
Bro,
Emu feels a little bit weak, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. And you think the time limits? Hey, that's a time limit right there.
That?
Maybe.
I want to expand on that,
man. You'd think that he'd be able to take out Loki a lot quicker than this, but he's having fun. You know, I consider it just an old guy stretching his legs a little bit. I think Emu next chapter, he's gonna be even stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe next chapter Emu's gonna behead Usopp, and then Usopp's gonna be like,
"Hey, man, where do we go from there?" Hey man,
The thing is, we've only seen like this thing out of Emu, so like maybe
I
he
love
just flips
that.
it.
By the way, that's
I
like gang
like
signs,
it,
bro. Like that's
but
so
like,
sick, though.
so maybe he flips gangs. He joins the Crips now or something,
Yeah.
right?
Maybe Emu's a Glover. You ever seen the people do the gloves with the lights on the fingertips?
Yeah,
Like,
I love
yeah,
that.
maybe Emu's a Glover. That's what's gonna come
Dude,
out.
if Emu's a Glover, that always hypnotizes me. So if
You fall
Emu,
for that?
yeah, that shit gets me so good, bro. It gets
Bro,
me
it's
Just
just
good.
have the
gonna
person
be
that's been
it,
like abducted by aliens.
it's
Yeah,
just
I
gonna be a
also can't do
clash.
it.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be a clash, bro. And
Let's hope
they're
not.
and Emu's gonna peace
Just
out.
peace out right after that.
Yeah, bro.
The
It's not
problem though,
this fight
Mhm.
ain't gonna finish. It's not gonna be like a fight, a fight where Luffy beats Emu into submission. Best case scenario, best case scenario is that, or I guess it's like final fight. As it's looking right now, I think Emu um may find a way to the Domi reverse Loki
Loki. Yeah.
Mhm.
I've heard that
if
theory.
it's
Yeah.
if it's possible, and then Luffy just fights Loki.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
but the problem,
I
there's two
did want to
problems with
ask about that though. Yeah, because with the dull fruit flip, because I've seen it right now, and I think part you're about to mention it too is just that so far of the characters that we have seen be hit with the Domi Reversi don't possess
Not
dull
been
fruits.
Devil
No, it's
Fruit.
not
Right.
even that. It's not
Okay,
even
well,
the two
never mind.
problems with it is like one is Chopper. Once Oda introduced the whole situation with Zoro, because for me, I was looking at it like, okay, they figured out how to flip the Damiaversi, but
Yeah.
it wasn't super easy. It wasn't efficient. They were saying like some people were flipping back. But Chopper got introduced, and now it's like Emu doesn't even notice, but Chopper's like the kryptonite to Damiaversi. So like if there is a solution and Loki's there wreaking havoc as Damiaversi and Chopper just needs to tap him real quick because he's a good doctor, that's the issue with that part. And then the other thing with Emu ejecting, which I think has always been like not a necessarily cope, but like Emu showing up is in a lot of ways the same way as all of the Gorosei showing up on Egghead. The
Mhm.
longer they're there and the further we are from the last fight means that the Straw Hats aren't 100% losing. You know what I mean? The stakes aren't gonna be like shatterable here. And so in that sense, in Egghead, the Gorosei looked terrible because there was no losses on. I mean, all the Vegapunks lived. So
Yeah.
now we go to Emu here, and the problem is Emu said, like, I'm here to essentially avenge Harold's death. And so whatever that means, like for the Loki fight, like does that mean that Emu's gonna put Loki down 6 feet under? Damiaversi doesn't mean anything now because Chopper exists. And like the only thing that me and Sai have been talking about is there's a possibility that if they didn't burn Harold's body, that Emu can resuscitate Harold's body, have Harold face Loki, and then Emu faces Luffy. But
Mhm.
still, then it doesn't feel right because then Emu's not like slamming anyone in the ground and killing them off rip, which it seems like they're capable of, right? They showed up, cut Gerd's fingers off when they could have cut Gerd's neck off, like it cut Stance's leg off when they could have just bisected him. Like
Mhm.
that's the stakes that like are kind of at hand here, but we're not touching them, and we know we're not touching them, which is the problem.
Yeah.
Right. And the main issue is Loki killed Emu's greatest soldier, and Emu's not going to do anything about it. If Loki dies by the end of Elbaph, I'll eat my words. But like,
Mhm.
I know that everyone in this call doesn't think that Loki's going to die by the end of
No.
Elbaph. So, like,
He's not.
that's
Everyone?
okay. Like, if
Everyone.
I
He
mean,
ain't gonna
hey,
die.
Man, oh man,
how
oh
many
man.
people?
Opinion, I don't want
He
to
ain't
hear.
gonna, he ain't gonna die, bro. Don't nobody die in One Piece.
Some of y'all probably think that Loki joining the crew. All right.
Listen, I still believe that. I still believe. Small hope.
See,
Small hope.
see,
Small hope. I
I
have small hope for
think that
that.
to happen.
I
Him
think
dying
Loki-
would be tough. Like I'm gonna be sad as hell if he
Bro,
died.
gonna die in
I'll
One
be
Piece,
sad,
bro.
bro.
I think-
he can't die yet.
No, he can't.
Yeah, we don't know
He
who
can't.
Mosa is. We didn't see the Shanks fight. We didn't see like him getting
Yeah, he's
rejected by
not
Lola.
dying.
So maybe he does die, and that's his last moment. Like he's like, Lola, if only you were there with me. Like I could have beat Emu if you were by my side.
Which,
like, some shit
which,
like
by
that.
the way, how like because we talk about things that could have been added in and all that and stuff. Why? Like, I know for a lot of us may not care as much on the Lola stuff, but why was that? Like, why didn't we just get like a little thing just saying like, just why didn't we get the Lola stuff, guys?
Why
Is
did
it
we
not?
get
Get it right
Lola? You
now,
said
like-
why did we?
Why didn't we not get it?
The only person out of the Straw Hats that knows about the Lola thing is Nami.
Yeah,
She hasn't really talked to Loki yet, so I'm assuming when Nami and Loki have a moment, they'll bring it up. But right now, like Luffy doesn't know about it. I'm assuming Loki didn't want to. Yeah. Okay, let's be real here. You're
Yeah.
meeting a bunch of like hard hitters. Like
Yeah.
you are an ancient giant. You're prideful. You're a trickster. And then here comes Bumblefuck Luffy. You're not. I'm not about to spill out my love
yeah,
story to Luffy.
that's facts.
I'm
That's
not doing
facts.
that.
That's facts.
So what I'll say is that so I don't think Oda's about to go into like another flashback in this arc. I think he did all that with the Herald and Rock stuff.
Yeah,
But I think he's gonna do something similar to it was a chapter when we finally saw what Emu looked like. He did like a quick 2 pages or 1 page, did like a flashback to like Emu discovering Luffy after the events of Marineford.
yeah.
I'm thinking that Oda's gonna do something like that for Loki closer to the end of the arc. It's gonna be like this is just where my head's at right now. I think he's gonna do something like showing the Lola stuff, showing what Loki was doing in that time when he was a pirate. Maybe it was something like, oh, Loki tried to take the fight to the world government himself for revenge for what they did to Harold, and that's when we're also gonna get the reveal of him and Shanks encountering each other, and Shanks maybe stopping him, telling him that, yo, now's not the time for this. I cannot have you do this right now and fuck everything up. And then, which leads to him getting put by the tree. So I think Oda's still gonna show us all that. It's just gonna be like really, really fast though, like just in a couple pages, just kind of like do a montage of it. That's what I'm thinking right now.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
if I was arranged for marriage with Lola, I'd be doing everything I can. I'd be charging at Emu head on, just hoping Emu takes me out.
Please kill me.
Yeah.
No, but isn't it that Loki proposed to Lola and
He
Loki?
did,
Yeah, Loki
was
did.
rejected?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Loki
thought
likes
it was.
her.
I thought it was
Yeah.
arranged. Oh, never mind. Oh,
Well,
No,
they
no,
well, I
it's
mean,
not
they
really
tried to arrange
Loki.
it, but then
Oh,
he
good
gave
on
the
you.
flower to her and stuff, and then just
good on him, bro. He's taking
Yeah.
one for the team.
The reason I kind of want to say it because like I love that flashback 2 bits and just what it meant, like especially like by the time we get to the end of the arc where like Loki's gonna realize what true love and it's like the bond and stuff with somebody because of Luffy have kind of accepting him, and that's just how he is with everything, right? But I was kind of hoping we were gonna get like that roller coaster where it's like he goes down, he finds Lola, maybe picks him back up, and then just doesn't work out, so he goes right back down, doesn't believe in love and all that. And then there's Luffy right there to go and pick him back up. So maybe it's gonna tell us something that Loki might look the other way, instead of going down the straight and narrow.
Maybe Mosa is Lola.
No, but it can't because Lola's married now.
Yeah, and like I don't know. I mean,
She'd
gang
be two timing. You know how crazy that would be,
And the
Lola.
problem-
Hey, man.
Surely
hey,
he knows her voice and the way she talks. I bet he
Maybe-
thinks about it like every day.
maybe
Probably.
Lola rolls that way. I mean, she's a pirate.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
she's
Her mom didn't have issues with.
Was
that.
she with Gotti or?
Whoa, that's
whoa,
crazy.
whoa.
Pulling out your mom joke. That's
It's
Damn,
crazy.
damn.
It's true.
2026. Hey man.
Yeah, your mom Lola. That's crazy.
Lola's
We all
mom
like
was.
Gotti here, though. We're all Gotti fans.
We are.
Yeah, no, I'm a big Gotti fan. I am.
Yeah. That cover story was
Yeah,
actually it was calm. It was a calm cover story. Like I didn't.
Yeah.
I was just happy to see
Cootie
more
Pirates.
Capone. The Cootie Pirates, man. Oh my god.
Yeah, I wish
Yeah.
we got another 50 chapters of Gang Deja's Oh My Family.
Yo.
Oh man. Hey, don't.
You can't disrespect that name. That's fire. Oh my family. That's fire, man.
What are you gonna say
Hey.
next? You want more Yamato cover page story? too?
Yeah, yeah. Give me.
Oof,
Let's get 30
oof,
more of those,
oof, oof.
please.
Chill.
I want to see Yamato walk around Wano scenery for another 30 chapters. I'd love that.
Damn.
Dude, that was awful.
Hey,
Yeah.
but speaking on the supernova we're just talking about right now with Capone, because I have obviously talked about this before with Dak and stuff before. Eden's kind of might know where I'm going with this. We don't have. I don't know if we have a lot of time left in Elbaph and stuff to introduce any more people and everything. So I want to ask you guys your own personal thoughts. What's up with the Rouge? Are we going to be getting anything with him soon, or do you think he's being safer after Elbaph, or what y'all got?
Any character,
yeah.
bro. Any character, and I forgot who was in this group with Dax with introducing characters. This was before Emu showed up. But it's like now that Emu's here, we can't introduce characters into Elbaph and it means anything. And I know people had Yarouge high up there because of like Anel stuff and like the tattoos and Birkin, Lunarian, whatever stuff you want to throw in there. But it's like, I don't know what we're doing with introducing like Eve Dragon. You know what? The first super chat on my last stream was you see Loki versus Emu. You know who goes tip for tip with Emu? Dragon. And I'm like, listen, I'm a huge Dragon fan, but I'm not putting them in that same box. Like that's crazy. And so like it's in the same, like everything we talked about with Loki and the love story. It's like, do I want that or do I want Usopp to do something in Elbaph, right? Like I feel like there's a lot of things that we have on the docket. We still have Brooks' backstory. When does and then we still don't know if Gunko's on the firing range or not because it looked like Emu shot up Gunko and didn't give him over. So like I don't like and so like maybe we get Brooks' backstory while they're laying on the ground there, but then that's weird. How do we break up Emu fighting Loki and Luffy with Gunko and you know maybe we find out Emu's weakness or something, but that would be a weird place.
I think there is a chance we may see it. I don't know if it's gonna be like them turning coats and stuff and being like, by the way, this is how you can defeat them and all that. But I think maybe Luffy ends up doing something in the fight, or even Loki for all that matters. They find something in that moment. It's like we know how to beat them. But then it's like, again, for those who believe that possibly Blackbeard is the final villain, they might end up facing off with Emu. That this is stuff that they probably are aware of, right? And I mean, I would expect Blackbeard to be somewhat aware of that kind of stuff just because of the fact that he does his research and he does things in the background before he actually takes action. So...
yeah, I think the other part of it though is any character we introduce now, like Yarouge. I think a shonen way to introduce Yarouge is to make any character that we introduce have like a knowledge of Maki and the counter, and that's typically a shonen thing to do at this stage. Is like that random character that we left out. And the funny thing is about Yarouge, he kind of did demonstrate some aspect that Emu's showing right now with the, you know, and we attributed it to a devil fruit, like the taking damage and then, you know, getting bigger and stronger, whatever. It could be that Yarouge knows about like demonic aura hockey and knows how to cancel it. So if he were to show up, then I think his role would be, hey guys, that is Maki. He's now the Maki merchant information guy. And it could make sense because he's always given that religious attribute. So like if you wanted to put Yarouge into the story, that would be how. But other than that, like that, and that's a super shonen trope.
Just
for like
introduce someone right towards the end, because I feel like a good idea, and I think Oda did a really good job of this book going back to Whole Cake Island, was when they brought in Capone in the middle of the arc, because I felt was a good like moment of time to have them introduced, even if they were going to have something crazy happen, but at least you can bring them in, and if you're going to use them for something, it'll be great. But towards the end, it definitely feels like, oh, it's like, you know, of course he's going to come in, do something crazy with a big pencil and just, you know, erase the powers or whatever that may be and stuff. But before that, Grove Stonks came through with a $9.99 donation. Arigato gozaimasu. Does Kid have a place in Elbaph arc since Kid looks rocks inspired? Is the thorough line that 14 years ago Loki was the pirate that inspired Kid and the placeholder for Luffy's true rival in Loki? Fascinating.
Damn. If Kid got inspired by that, would Loki kind of be good.
That'd be crazy.
That'd be kind of good.
Yeah.
Because Loki was out on the sea, so like I could see that Loki shows up.
It would be kind of nasty because, like, what? Loki and Kid are kind of like the same age. If you scale Loki down from like, human years, right? Like, that's like saying, yeah, I'm inspired by this high schooler. It's like, nah, I don't know.
That's crazy.
That's
Yeah,
the
but
downside with being one of those giant-blooded people, you know?
Yeah.
Loki is like the high schooler that stayed in high school for like mad long though. Like he's kind of like that senior.
Hey, that's not cool.
Yeah, but like for kids,
It's, oh,
we're talking
you know,
about like,
you know what this remind me of now? If you ever watch Dazed and Confused, the one that Matthew McConaughey is in from and stuff, he's like, I get older, they say the same age, and this dude literally should have been graduated like 20 years ago and stuff. I'm just like, bro, like this can't be your inspo. Like, come on now.
That can be his inspo. I have more faith in Kid than that.
No, but the thing is, like, when Loki's out on the sea, he's low-key like a fifth Yonko, right? Like,
I love how you added that in there.
With the strength of a fifth Yonko.
Maybe that's why he wants to kill Shanks. Because
he
been new. Hold on a minute now. We cooking.
I don't like it.
I like that.
Well,
this is a good theory. This is a good one. Ghost Talk.
I can't hate it. bro.
I'm just gonna say, Growth Stocks is one of my viewers. I take Growth Stocks. If you don't post it, I'm posting. You know, I'm joking.
Wow, shout out to Growth, man.
Steel D Theory
That's
is gonna take
great.
it.
I just seen another comment too. Flynn's also says Rouge does have Blackfire tattoos too that could be Maki coded.
Yeah, but a lot of those Sky people just have tattoos for no reason.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Wait.
What do you mean by Sky people? Huh?
That's a very.
Here's the thing, man. I don't like many races in One Piece. If you're not human, you're kind of just, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess
Now the thing is, Scopper Gaban doesn't feel that way. I know that for a fact.
Humanity's on top.
You're trying to call up the facilities on these guys. That's crazy.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Oh, no, dude. There's a reason the Birkins aren't there anymore. Thanks to my guy Anel.
Hey, man.
Damn, Anel was with that replacement theory too. He was like, I gotta get you out of the sky. It's all for me, baby. That's crazy.
But
we get Anel again. I mean, Anel versus Emu would go kind of nuts, though. Let's be real.
It would. I'd be so here for it. I would be here for it. Especially if Anel has some armaments on them and stuff, which I would hope that'll be the case. I would be so fired. OC.
Imagine he comes down, he's still the same guy from pre-time skip.
Oh man.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
The audacity, though, man.
Bro.
If Anel comes back, that's Arouge's point. That's where he comes back.
Yeah,
I think so too. Yeah.
It's got to be.
Point.
Yeah, I think that there's a possibility Arouge might have been working with Anel before he destroyed Burka, and then that's what made Arouge come down to the Blue Sea because he's a penitent monk. He's like repenting for something bad that he did.
Yeah,
so I think there's a chance, you know.
It's kind of funny you talk about that though too, Hidden, because I know Daka, me, and Recon, we had talked about this in the Rouge discussion prior to I think it was right before Elbaph started, right when it started. Just talking about what kind of role we think he might have and stuff, inspiration, all that, and just talking about his character. And I do think that a lot of the stuff that Oda's taking inspiration from and all that feels like a character that was, as a young guy, that was probably doing a lot of crazy stuff, and it took him until he was like in his like 40s per se, which I think is roughly right now like 41, 42. They realized like, yeah, I did a lot of messed up stuff, and I'm just going about life now in a different avenue. But it's like all the stuff I can't control now. But if Anel pulls up on them afterwards, I'm 1,000% believing they're grabbing the nearest thing, a cinder block, a pencil, whatever it may, and they're gonna slap up Anel afterwards. So, but to go into that whole thing, I do think he may be chilling on the Heaven Realm, because I do think that's still a place that we have to go and explore at some point in time. Same thing with getting a full glance of the mural, the laboratory that's over there as well, that Lilith is trying to resurrect and bring back Kuma, which I know some people have their feelings on, but Bonnie needs a father, so I'm in a different avenue on that. But yeah. I mean, that's where I kind of think if Arouge is going to come in, I think towards the end of the arc would be cool, but it's just like, if he was just there, just chilling in the Heaven Realm the entire time while all this is going down, I don't know, is that kind of crazy? That's the case? Like, Oda just chilling there, but just like...
It's not crazy. I think that there's a pretty solid chance Arouge is a cover story character forever. Like there's a chance that the rest of the story is gonna happen, and then we're gonna get a Arouge's "Oh My Family" cover story for 20 chapters, and that's gonna be all we get.
"Oh My Family" and it's all the people that Anel killed.
Yeah, it's just like
oh my god,
ashes
bro,
on a cloud.
That's crazy.
It's like Arouge's "Oh My Family" chapter 1, and that's like the whole cover story.
Damn. Beginning and finale.
Yeah, we can have one panel of Arouge hanging out with them, and then the next panel of just like a pile of ashes.
Damn.
And then it's just repeated over and over for all the neighbors.
Damn.
What if this is another angle? This is another shonen thing to do. What if your Rouge is Davy and we just didn't know?
I would hate that.
Oh, please don't. Please, no.
No more Danny Klansmen, no more Buccaneer bitches. Just let's just
Hey, Kuma ain't a Buccaneer bitch. Take that back. That's crazy.
Oh man, respect my guy, man.
Just because he can't talk, you're saying that because he can't talk right now and he's still in the story, okay? Well, that's not my fault that Oda decided to keep a corpse alive on Elbaph doing nothing.
I hope he comes back to life.
Nowhere.
I hope he comes back and he fights the person who took Ginny. Actually, I have a lot of faith in Kuma. I wish
you're just mad that if Kuma was standing, he would destroy every one of your holy knights without even a question.
No.
Yeah, he would. He would absolutely smack the shit out of all. He would push the heart out. He would. That's all you need to do. That's Kuma would. Dude, Kuma would show up and be like,
have Sommers over Kaido. You're telling me that?
Yes.
Yeah. And you made fun of those people, bro. You made fun of those people.
Those are my boys.
I
think they told them that idea in the first place.
I will say though,
votes.
Yeah.
Out of 40 votes, the fact that 18% of you guys said OMEN SOMMERS over KAIDO. Listen, I don't know what's last. You gotta whip them back into shape, bro.
Hey man. Now here's the thing. Now if it was an Omen Shamrock, that would be tough. That would be tough.
Yeah. Omen Shamrock. I mean, I think Shamrock was the first person to use Maki. Like, if we're being honest, he used that sword, and then like black goo came out of
black flames. Dude, this is One Piece. That flame could be rainbow colored for all we know.
And the anime's coming up soon. The anime's coming up soon. We're about to find out.
Yeah. Apparently, the new giant pirates are rainbow too.
The new giant war pirates are rainbow.
Oh, I didn't see that. No.
Summers is wearing a straight purple suit. Killing Eve is wearing straight yellow. Dude, you know Cerberus is not gonna be black in the anime. You know he's not.
Damn. I got my hopes up.
Literally everything in Elbaph is gonna be like color vomit. I'm very ready for
Bro,
that.
imagine the Cerberus is like in pink, like the Pink Panther and stuff. That actually would go crazy. That was super crazy. But I did want to ask you guys, in terms of like Elbaph and what remains and stuff right now, what are some things that you hope you would get to see happen with the remaining time that we have on Elbaph that you would like to see hopefully Oda dive into? At any point, just chime in.
How the Giants first came to existence.
That's a good one.
How the Giants first came
to existence. Because I don't think that they were just like always there in the world. I think somebody created them. Because God wouldn't create something like that. Let's be real. So it's probably like due to somebody's devil fruit, some enlargement fruit. It could go back to like Elbaph time dilation. Maybe the land of Elbaph itself has like an effect on people who, and then over the course of 900 years, they become giants. I feel like there's going to be some origin story there.
Yeah, because I was just thinking in my head, like, if you go back to, let's say, the first world, and I don't know if Oda's going to go that far back, but I feel like they kind of have to, after the fact of saying there was a first world, second world, and we're living in the third world. That, like, imagine the person that had the Nikadel fruit that could do all the imagination stuff, or just, like, tap their friend on the shoulder. What if you were huge? Boom. That's how the first giant was just created like that. Like, I think it would be kind of nuts. But I think from, like, the logical point of it and stuff, I would like to see that happen, definitely, because it would be just kind of weird if it just happened, or, they came out of an egg or something. I mean, we still have an egg to explore right now that we don't know what hatch from it, from Roger's ship and all that. But yeah, I mean, what else you guys would like to see possibly in Elbaph?
I hope that's not the case, because that would be kind of like messed up. Like Joy Boy walks up to a guy, it's like, hey, what if you had like freakish 2 sets of elbows in your arm? Like,
like, imagination's scary, isn't it?
Like, why are you doing this to me? What if you had a freakishly long neck that like was really made it difficult for you to walk?
Bro.
Door frames.
Unit 731.
Yeah,
bro. Like Joy Boy's going around like mutating people into like.
Well,
crazy...
I mean, that would justify Emu, right? Like that would be.
Emu wanted to stop it.
Right, that's the message Oda's going for, is that Emu was right. Yeah. Is that what I think we're working up to?
Well, yeah, I was gonna segue to that too, because I was gonna also ask at some point afterwards, is that based on that one panel, because obviously it's the one panel that's been on my mind literally like for so long, and I'm just thinking like, is there a chance that you guys can see where Oda's gonna swerve us and be like, what you thought was what went down with Emu and Joy Boy, and then you find out Joy Boy was just this lunatic, and he would try to stop him and all that?
I mean, to a certain extent, if you were to take the panel at face value and see it as like, I think a lot of people see it as, isn't that right, Joy Boy? And they're in agreement about domination. Then the question is, are they just in agreement on how that domination comes about, right? And so I like, in a lot of ways, Emu might have started out correct, but I think like what Rox said, Rox is like, it's not natural for someone to be in power. Like, power needs to be handed over. Like, there needs to be another king in line. I think where Emu went wrong in that line of thinking is that Emu just stayed in power and never gave it up. And, the balance becomes imbalanced at that point. Ultimate power is corrupting. And I think that's like, that would be a super easy way to look at it. But like, the other route is that maybe that Joy Boy Emu scene wasn't necessarily them laughing in agreement. Maybe it was them laughing about something else. Like, Emu looked he was getting frame mugged in that frame.
Yeah.
So,
that panel has me nervous, bro. I got to be honest. I
really,
really, really, really hope we don't go with the tired angle of like, oh, these were two really strong guys at the pinnacle of different empires, and they were best friends until one day something happened, and now they're not friends. And now it's literally Hashirama Madara. Like, it's such a like tired trope. If Emu like thrust the world into like 900 years of darkness, basically over like some friendship disagreement thing, we don't need that. Can we just have a villain be bad? Can we just have a bad guy just be morally corrupt from the get-go? Because that exists. There's people that are just evil. They don't need a backstory that's gonna like excuse their, or oh, it's morally gray. You see, they had this relationship, and then Emu had a crush on Lily, and then Joy Boy stole his girl. Like what's the
Hey, yo.
like, no, but I've seen people even say this. I've seen people say that it's gonna be
I mean, I
like a
can't lie.
love
I've been
triangle.
under the belief of that hidden
like,
that's probably what it is. Yeah.
Laz made those fan arts.
Yes.
I know it.
Yeah, bro. I commissioned every
It
single
hurts the
one.
character. It hurts
You know?
the character, because if you
I hurt my
take something
pocket.
that's petty and you turn it into like 1,000-year like blood feud, like that's so petty. It just makes Emu look like a simp, or make Emu look like weak emotionally, which I
Yeah.
think is just bad for the character. I think Emu should just be allowed to be a villain through and through. Maybe Emu just really liked power and wanted to control people.
Do you
And
think
it
that?
doesn't have,
But I was saying, you don't think that would be something that would just that's what the route that Oda wants to go with the character, like that, like he's just a loser. Like, so, this is really what it comes down to at the end of the day, is that Emu moves like a wastesuit, right? And the fact that they keep themselves in the shadows for this long and stuff, like I wouldn't want to show myself afterwards in the world if I was moving like a wastesuit. Like what? You know what I mean? Like,
I feel like there's a difference. It's like the scale of the destruction, the scale
Yeah.
of like the response has to be proportionate to like the motivation, right? Like if the motivation is like some stupid thing where like Joy Boy and Emu were like once friends, and then they had a disagreement, and this is where all this stuff came from. I don't see that as being good for the character, because it doesn't
Yeah.
justify Emu at all. Like no matter what, at the end of it, you're still gonna say, well, Emu, crashed out for no reason, and this was like unnecessary, or it's just gonna make the whole background for the world look flimsy. Like everything just happened because two guys like that were friends once disagreed. Like maybe, I don't know, they should have competing ideals from the get-go. So that panel worries me, because I'm worried that Oda's going to try and turn this into a Madara Hashirama thing, and I really don't want that.
Yeah.
I mean,
think
it's
there's ways
also
to make
super
it better. Like, it doesn't have to be something as petty as like Lily, for example, or disagreement. It could just be like years of suffering too. Like, we're assuming that Emu wanted to take that crown for himself, but there's a chance that maybe he never wanted to be that guy. Because even today, it doesn't really seem like he super cares about the celestial dragons. I mean, his presence is like super unknown and everything. Like, there's a chance that maybe he just really cannot, like a Kaido situation where he can't die. And he's just kind of left here by himself. Maybe he needed Joy Boy, and Joy Boy's not here anymore. I think there's some ways to pull it back, I think.
I think
But
the
get what you
awkward
mean,
part.
though.
Yeah.
I think the
It's
awkward
doable.
part of
It's
that
not lost.
panel is like let's say Emu is this heinous from off rip is like this evil dude, right? Then that panel is super awkward, because then it's like you would imagine the next line that Joy Boy says, "No, it's freedom," right? Like, isn't that right, Joy Boy? Domination is how the world rejoices. Like, no, it's freedom. And then that Joy Boy gives up the throne, and then you just left. It's like, yeah, no shit, this really evil guy wants to dominate the world, and you just let him. Of course, terrible things are going to happen. So it's kind of weird if they're in that same panel and they're not like friendly to a certain extent, or Emu had like a switch of some sort, which is why, I think everybody in this call at some point entertained the idea that Emu got like taken over by some like evil demon thing that like warped their mind. So like I feel like that is something like post that panel, they get incepted by something that we don't know yet. But like I just pray that it's not like a Top Musica like film red
Wait,
kind
what?
of
Okay.
No, Top Music is
Yeah.
so cool though. Like,
Yeah,
think about this, Top
so-
Music
Oh, man.
was this mindless monster with no motivation. He just stood there and took 5,000 hits. That was so cool.
Yeah, so cool.
welcome.
And the thing is, Oda hasn't done that once. I think like I had a version of that from a different movie, and now that's two movies that Oda has this large demonic monster coming out and taking over. And it just feels weird because what did Joy Boy do to stop Emu. And if it's not that, then it feels like maybe Joy Boy was just as much of a problem as Emu was, and Joy Boy just lost the reins at the time. You know,
I kind of do think that to a little extent, Par. I kind of do. You can go ahead, and I'm gonna say what I have to say right after.
Oh, my bad. I was just gonna say I want Emu to have agency. If Emu's possessed the whole time and not making their actual decisions on their own,
Yeah,
that also takes away completely from like the severity of what's going on.
Yeah,
same thing with Uta.
Yeah, yeah. So the way I saw that panel actually was I kind of saw that as Emu as like a dissatisfied person, like someone who doesn't feel validated by themselves. They need validation from this person's opinion, whether it's hatred or a form of friendship, someone whose opinion that they highly respected. I think that when he said, "Isn't that right, Joy Boy?" and he went to that whole spiel about domination and this is the right way to do things, I think that he's someone who what's that term? Suffering from success. Like in a way, Emu won, but he doesn't feel like he won because the one person whose opinion he wanted to prove it to, like he doesn't feel like it got through, which is why, like, I forgot what arc in Egghead it was. I mean, at what point in Egghead it was, but I think it was during the Sabo stuff. He was talking about how like my world still isn't completed or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of how I read that with Emu yelling, is that like he's talking to a ghost that he's still seeking validation from. And we know the whole thing about because like I'm kind of in the boat right now that I have nothing to back this up, but I'm kind of in the boat right now with Vegapunk calling Joy Boy the first pirate. I'm wondering if it's something like Emu did a lot of heinous stuff to get this power, and he just threw all the blame on Joy Boy, who got the title of first pirate. So I assume first criminal, and Joy Boy kind of like Luffy, where it's like Luffy objectively, in the perspective of a lot of citizens' eyes, has done a lot of horrible things in the world. But it's like, when Luffy, he's actually like a really cool guy. So I'm kind of wondering if it's that same thing with Joy Boy, where like Emu dumped all this stuff onto Joy Boy, but the people like Zunisha, Emmett, like the ones who actually know the person Joy Boy was actually, oh no, he was a great guy. And like, it's also that thing Oda does with, like, I think of like Doflamingo, who probably has like the most comparisons to Emu, where it's like, oh, he put all the bad stuff on somebody else and looked like the good guy at the end. So that's kind of like where my head's at right now. Where and like I said, Emu. Long story short, Emu's still trying to prove something to a ghost that's not around no more. Which is why he still even talks to the Luffy as like, "Oh, you're Nika," or Joy Boy. Maybe he sees them as the same person.
Okay, because you know what? Because I just seen right now from a super chat right now from Growth. Thank you for the chat, fam. It says Emu is a failed zone awakening where the user's will is overtaken by their fruit, like the jail beasters or Harold in the castle taken over by Emu. And I think that's interesting because, again, we've been told from before, I think going back to like, what is it, Ennie's Lobby, when they told us like why we couldn't eat 2 devil fruits and stuff because of the demon that's like harbored within them and stuff, or the devil that's like within them. And maybe that's one of the cases where like I guess the will wasn't strong enough to like hold back the devil, and that's how like maybe that's probably what ended up happening with Emu. I think that is an interesting thing for sure. I mean, the Satan devil fruit, you would have to be a really wicked person to be able to like be in full control of that. So maybe that's probably what ended up happening to Mu, where it's like they were just a completely different person with Joy Boy and all of them. They're on the same side. But then again, like you said, they're also as well hidden, where it's like, if that was the case that they weren't making these things of their own volition, it would feel definitely weird. But then also it's like, I would love to see like in real time in the flashback where it's like a person, like, you know how with Harold, it's like he tried his absolute best to be good and stuff, but it's like, obviously it didn't work out because like, you were the elephant in the room that wasn't trying to acknowledge himself. Where it's like, Emu, we're seeing it in real time, that evil, that power slowly taking over them, and it's like, it's not because this is what they wanted that entire time. So maybe like to see like in real time with them like realizing like all those things, like they were aware of it, they wanted it to happen. I think that would actually be a really cool thing to see. And it's like that disappointment from Joy Boy in a sense where it's like, damn bro, like you really let that happen. It's like, yeah, I did, this is what I wanted the whole time.
Yeah, I feel like there's something much more interesting potentially by having Emu make these decisions rationally, because, from the design alone, we can maybe infer that Emu is related to the Lunarians possibly, and then you have to wonder why the Lunarians were wiped out, why they're hunted down. Well, if Emu's part of that group, we know from Whitebeard that the Lunarians were viewed as gods, right? Well, Emu wants to be God. Emu wants to be the one god, the one king. So there's a possibility that Emu did not want the competition from his own kind and wanted to, hold all that power for himself. So Emu maybe killed all of his own race off because, because of that, because Emu wanted to consolidate that power. I think that's more interesting if that's something that comes from the actual person of Emu, not like some, possession or some other factor that's making Emu do it against his will. I think it's more interesting if Emu is just a bad guy who wanted power and is willing to do anything to get that power, including wiping his own people off the map. And that goes, if he'll do that to his own kind, imagine what he'll do to everyone else. That's what's scary about it, right? That's what makes Emu threatening, is that Emu, is willing to do anything for that power. If it's just like the devil working through Emu, I guess, that's true. Then the devil becomes the villain of the story. It's not Emu anymore. Now it's whoever's possessing Emu. And that character does not have any character development. It's just like a phantom idea that exists in the devil fruit power, but there's no like we haven't had the actual devil come out, like waltz out and like have a conversation or explain anything. It's just a power. So, there has to be a villain, there has to be a focus, there has to be agency, and I would prefer if it was just Emu in that regard. But that's just, that's my take.
And I was going to ask with you guys too, because regarding like Emu and stuff, because obviously we're seeing the design right now. Do you think that is the final design look that we're getting of Emu, or are we going to get that moment where, because obviously they're going to get sent back or whatever, they're going to, the time limit's going to come into play, and we actually get to see them? And I don't know if you have seen this, the thing that someone had made a mention of going back to Sky P, and I want to say this is chapter 249 to be exact. If you remember when Luffy, Nami, and them, they were inside like one of the little centers and stuff, where they saw like this little statue of this figure and stuff that was there, and it's supposed to be for like Verith or whatever and stuff, right? Varus and stuff, yeah. And a lot of people are starting to think that if you go look at the silhouette in the recent chapter of that, it's like people are starting to put two and two together. Maybe that's what Emu looked like. Not only that, but that's what Emu was represented as back then, before things went the way they did. And you know what I'm saying? Because I think there's some solid legs on there for that one, because then again, they're a person that probably wasn't like happy with themselves, their appearance, or how they were come across and stuff, and like that's how they remember that person when times were good, and then things went south, and then history kind of moved in the way they did. And yeah, so I don't know if you guys have saw that or not, but I think that was kind of interesting. And I think if we are going to get to see Emu's design and stuff, do you think that we actually still get to see it in the confinements of this arc, or does that get reserved for, let's say, later on down the line?
I would hope it's later.
Okay.
I think it's later.
Yeah.
I think 100% there's another design, because Emu transformed. Some form of what we saw of Emu is probably there, but like you said, like it could be anywhere in between that Vars figure and what we got. And I'd like to, the way I put it in my video is that maybe Emu is everything that they showed up as, like the opposite. So they're not as big, they're not as strong, they don't have the horns, we know that. Like, and then they don't have the wings. So it's like you take away all those things, what are you left with? And maybe that's what Emu truly is. Maybe it's a new race. Oda doesn't seem like too afraid of just like being like, here's a race, right? But then with Vars, I think Vars is a good option. The question is just like, what is that? It's just, and then why also, because then it's kind of like a big middle finger to all of those people, because they're out there praying to Vars, like the people who are originally Skypean. Yami, I think that was the guy's name in the Nolan flashback. He was out here like they were thirsty.
There was,
bro, for dirt. Emu for 400 years by that point couldn't give them dirt. Like, what are we talking about? And then it's like, is the knock-up stream finally their prayers are coming true? It's like Emu didn't even do that. And so like then it's weird on that front. If that was Emu and they were praying for Emu, why did Emu forsake them? That's your one people. They were praying for you. Like Shangri-La, like what are they doing for your ass? Meanwhile, you have Shandora. And Skype, like, I don't know. That's Sai told me that one where the Vars thing, and I thought it through, and I'm like, nah, that's worse for Emu. Emu had people, like good people. They fought
Okay,
They
good people
killed
is crazy.
No, but they killed Kalgara. Like that's kind of crazy. You know what
They
I'm saying?
did. I mean,
Kalgara,
hey man, they did.
like Noland was out here running the gauntlet like Joy Boy. Stopped at Kalgara. They were buddies. Kalgara shot up there and they killed Kalgara. That's kind of good.
Yeah,
So it's
man.
like Emu should have turned them into Holy Knights. You know what I'm saying? Why do we have these dog shit Holy Knights when he had Yami? That's what I'm
crazy.
saying. All right,
I
like
don't know, but they're not funny like Sommers though.
Sommers is the what? Where's your code for
Okay.
Killingham then? Where's your code for?
People love Killingham.
Yeah, people love killing him until he was bisected in 3 and started going, oh,
Yeah.
thank heavens for the
Man,
Omen,
My
baby.
poor
If we were
Moshu,
like
man.
A barbecue party, who would you invite? Sommers or Yami? I'd invite Sam.
I mean,
Sommers.
I got one panel of Yami, and
Yeah, that's
he
true.
took out
we-
Kalgara. Like, he's kind of...
Yeah, he has a big feat. He has a big
Sommers
feat.
couldn't kill kids. He missed at kids that were standing still.
He was chilling.
No, he wasn't chilling. He was ignoring Emu and
That was
Nidhogg.
fun,
I mean,
Like,
Nidhogg
you-
and Nika.
Yeah.
You're crashing out over a guy having fun? I don't know, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah. Guy having fun. This guy, man.
Oh
Omen,
man.
I still cannot believe that 10 more people voted and Omen Sommers is still at 17%.
That's what I'm saying, man.
crazy.
Like it was at 21% that it dropped down. I'm just like, man,
And
there's just
wait, next week it's gonna be even higher.
dude. You know, this is the second poll in a row. In the last piece, I think I had what was it, Kaido versus I forgot who it was exactly. It was just a crazy matchup, and it just like it was like even for like a while. I'm just like, listen, man,
Gucci.
it was I'm trying to remember. I gotta look back on and see what it
Alright.
was, but it was
Be
crazy
honest,
though.
guys. Who did you vote for in this poll? Edens, who did you vote for in this poll?
What with the Sommers and Kaido?
Yeah, who'd you vote for?
I wanted to be an Agent of Chaos, but I did go with Kaido.
Okay, Hidden, who did you vote for in this poll?
I
Come on,
didn't
Hayden,
vote. I
let's
didn't
go,
even
bro.
see the poll. What was the question? Is who's stronger?
Who
would
wins,
win?
Kaido or Omen Sommers?
Kaido.
Okay, Sai, who did you vote for? No way.
I couldn't leave him alone, bro. I had to vote for Omen Sommers.
He voted. He was one of the votes.
I
I
had to,
knew
man.
it. He was one of the 8
See, here's
votes.
the
that
thing.
Oh man.
I think a fight will be really tough because the thing is, Odin lost to Kaido because Kaido played dirty, right? He hired that one lady to pretend to be Momonosuke. So in reality, this isn't even a 1v1 because Kaido's gonna bring his whole gang over here to beat Sommers up. It's not fair.
That wasn't Kaido in his prime, though.
No, Kaido could be in his prime. You know, 2 Kaidos versus Saint Sommers, who would win? How about that? Maybe that's more fair.
That's
Oh
All right,
my.
let me
Oh my.
ask you
Maybe
this:
that's more
if you put Sommers against like all of the guys in Roof Piece, how do you think Sommers is gonna do against that crowd? Because I think Kaido did very well, especially considering he just had like 7 dudes shank him like 10 minutes ago, and now he's on the roof fighting like 7 really strong guys, and he's like holding his own. He was like doing well. So
Well,
That's
I'll
gonna be a
say
brave-
this, Hidden.
Brave Warrior of the Sea moment.
If Summers has a
Okay.
zombie knife and he's fighting against Kaido, I think he has a chance.
I think if
If
I think if
Sommers
Sommers-
is immortal and has like 50 times the attack power that he currently has, I think he could win.
I think if Sommers was capable of beating Kaido based on what we've seen, I think the whole power scaling for this story falls apart and nothing makes sense anymore. I got to be honest, because this is not a guy. You don't look at Sommers and what he's done this arc and say that right there, that guy could beat Kaido. That's
Bro.
not a guy you look at and say like I know that it's in the rear view mirror, like we're 2 arcs past it now, but we got to remember what Kaido was doing, man. We got to remember
Yeah.
what kind of fighter Kaido was. This is a man that was fighting all of these guys on the roof, tanking all these hits. He fought Gear 5 Luffy for like an extended period of time.
15 people in one night.
15 people in one night, Gear 5 Luffy, and while he was doing all of this, by the way, he was carrying the entire island of Onigashima with his clouds, which takes energy. Because we saw Momo try and do it, and it took energy out of him to use those clouds. Kaido was carrying
He
the
didn't
whole
have to
island
carry it, though.
effortlessly.
He could have stopped. He could have stopped at any point. He only carried the island to make us feel bad for him.
This
Mhm.
man was bench pressing and fighting 15 dudes at once. He was that's the equivalent of him bench pressing. And while he's bench pressing, he's using his remaining legs to fight off 15 guys, and he's like he's tanking it. Like that's
While getting punched in the abs.
Yeah, like they're punching his abs. Dude is doing pull-ups. He's doing like doing kettlebells. Bro, there's no Sommers would never even touch that, bro. There's not even a shot in hell that the Sommers could.
Okay, maybe not this Sommers. We need prime Sommers then.
Prime Sommers.
Prime
So
Sommers.
so you say is he wait, Sai, is he out of his prime right now, or he hasn't got there yet?
I think he's out of his prime, man.
Yeah.
What about this? The Shepherd family. Throw them on the rooftop.
Ooh, you know what?
Shepherd family.
Versus
Saint Shepherd Jupiter?
Yeah, Shepherd Jupiter, Shepherd Sommers, maybe like the other shepherds
The
out there.
worm?
Yeah, man.
The worm guy?
Oh, that worm! Hey, don't doubt him. He was moving crazy, man.
You know how stupid Jupiter is? He probably would have ate through Onigashima and just fell into the water. Dude, like
He would have left with something.
He sucked up his own navy because everyone else was doing something, and then he was just like and then trying to eat his own navy people, bro. Like he was his own ops, 100%. If he did nothing, it would have been better. Like straight up, he's the only one out of all of them that if he just did not do what he was doing, he probably would have done better. Like
didn't Luffy chuck a glizzy into his mouth like mid-fight? Like this is the guy we're putting up against Kaido here. This is even like the Gorosei, bro. Like the Gorosei are still up in the air.
Straight up, cut him in half.
They're not looking good, but you know we gotta bet on the potential, bro. You know we gotta.
Yes, we do.
Look, I gotta say, bro, I respect the dedication because I honestly, I'll be totally honest with you. Before we saw them do anything, I would have been right with you. I would have said all of the same things you're saying. The problem is we've seen them now. We've seen what they're capable of, and they're not at that level. I feel like
no. Okay, see, here's the thing, right? Just pretend like we haven't seen any of their performances yet.
Okay.
Just erase it from your mind.
All right, I'm pretending. What's next?
So who wins?
Who wins? Oh, okay. So go back pure
200
aura
chapters. Who wins?
Okay. All right. So 200 chapters to go. Pure aura, just like mystery scaling. All right. Yeah, I will say maybe I'll give it to the Gods Knights over Kaido. Yeah.
Thank you. That's all.
Yeah. All right. That's good. That's a good argument.
Hypothetical, we win.
Isn't it crazy? We have more than half of them mystery scaled still. Like more than and the thing is, off of the half that we have, Shamrock, he doesn't does he really count like for the scaling? Like the rest of them can't be Shamrock level.
Yeah, you count them. This is with the Vice Admiral.
How many of them can look like Shanks? Like the only reason why he's good is because he looks like Shanks, and Oda can't have a bad looking Shanks.
There, we're gonna meet.
Don Krieg's uncle. Sai, do you have a video on your?
Yo, hey man.
We're gonna meet so many God Knights with so much cachet. Yeah,
you mean Fisher Tiger's owner?
Ginny and Boa Hancock.
Oh me.
That dude. Oh my god. Do you have a video where you say Mihawk's older brother as a Holy Knight? That'd be kind of good.
That'd be crazy.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
What Sai, I gotta ask, man. What's the argument gonna be when Shamrock pulls up and then Luffy starts playing hopscotch with him?
I hope Gearfit loses, man. We can't keep letting this bastard get away with his Looney Tunes shenanigans.
What's gonna happen? Because
it was funny at first, man. Please, no more. No more ass spanking.
It's just inevitable. You know he's gonna show up and Luffy's gonna tussle with him because he looks like Shanks, and it's gonna happen. And you think, like what's the take gonna be from the community? I wonder. On
Luffy's
Shamrock,
gonna put on a football helmet and just fucking tackle him, and that's it.
Yeah. Is that gonna be good or bad for his for his mystery scaling there that we were doing? Like how are you?
That's another chapter we just erased, like the Void Sentry. Again,
okay.
See,
all right.
I think people like when they do agenda scaling and power scaling, they think of it the wrong way. You're not supposed to use logic. If something goes against your agenda, you just pretend like it didn't happen.
True.
That's crazy.
True.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually forgot this whole arc. I don't even know. What happened.
I can't wait till we hit Elbaph, guys.
Yeah, Elbaph's gonna be sick, guys. I can't wait for Usopp.
So fucking funny.
Man, this has been the prelude the whole time, man. But I guess we could say for like the last portions and stuff, because we are going to the tail end and stuff. Obviously, going into the next chapter, I mean, there's probably some big expectations and stuff in terms of what's been going on. Whether it's going to be, seeing more of Loki versus with Emu, if Luffy's going to show up, if they're finally eating, I don't know how many glizzies exactly. But what do you guys have for your own, like, if you had to say, I would like to see this happen, rather than I think this is going to happen, for predictions for the next chapter, what are we feeling?
For next chapter?
Mhm.
I want the God Knights. Unironically, I do want the God Knights.
Okay.
I want Emu to kill someone.
Damn.
Okay.
I
want
I
no.
mean,
We
I
need
did
to
want
up
that too.
Cliffhanger type beats, hidden. We let it marinate. Like, what are we saying?
No. I want Emu to like put a fist through someone's chest next chapter. Like I need
Amen.
the stakes to match the gravity of this person showing up in this place. So because this was not even expected. They didn't come into this prepped for an Emu encounter. So if Emu leaves this island without any body count, that's a big problem for Emu. Like that's a huge problem.
Yeah.
This is a character that went out of their way against the advice of the Gorosei for the first time in probably hundreds of years, left the Holy Land to come here to Elbaph. If Emu leaves Elbaph without doing any damage, okay, a finger here, a leg there, whatever. If Emu does not kill somebody before he leaves, this is a huge strike against that character for me.
I think it would have to be Yarl. It would have to be Yarl.
And that's the thing I was gonna ask y'all and stuff, because I mean, I asked Brago this before in the last Yap piece, and he's like, if a Stanson died, if a Garrett died, I don't give a fuck. That's just a verbatim and stuff, right? So it's like, if you had to pick the one character that you're like, damn, it would be Yarl. Okay, is there anyone else that would come to mind? Maybe
Dory or Bragi, maybe Loki. I know that Loki's not a likely one, but I'm just, I'm thinking of characters with that level of narrative weight. I think Dory or Brogy, maybe even both. Maybe Emu just like one shots both of them, kills them.
Yeah.
Maybe Bonnie.
Like,
oof.
Yeah, maybe Bonnie.
Hey man,
yeah.
hold on now.
Maybe
Kuma.
Vegapunk comes out of the capsule, and then Vegapunk's back. Stella's back, and then Emu
Oh
kills
my
Stella
god, that
for
would
good.
be,
Now Stella's
bro.
actually dead.
man.
What if Emu goes, I smell a dirty buccaneer, and then kills Kuma?
Man.
What about that, Sai? Huh? Would that get your
okay with
tizzies? Yeah, exactly.
Wait.
Really,
You know what? I just realized right now. What if Kuma's the reason that Emu's gonna go back to Mary Joie, not by their own virtue of the time limit, but the fact that they used the warp and just sent them right back?
Then Emu. And then Emu should just be able to show back up. Like, what do you mean?
But but Par, how can they do that when Blackbeard's gonna grab them by the shoulder and say, "We got business, partner"? Like,
imagine a world where Kuma alley-oops Emu.
I swear to God, that'll be the double spread of my lifetime. Honestly.
Oh, that'd be crazy. Where do you want to go on vacation? And then Kuma hits Emu into Blackbeard hands.
Bro, could you imagine?
Oh
my god,
that'd be crazy.
I'll be here for it.
You know what?
Bro, let's do that. Let's do that, Oda. Let's do that. Cinema, absolute cinema.
What about Saul? I think there's actually a solid chance Saul dies. Emu kills Saul to cover up.
I don't give a fuck. Nah, Saul.
Bring him back.
I think we had our chance. I think we had our chance and stuff, but
listen, man, Oda's been playing with us. Oda's been playing with us.
Hey, look, if Saul survives both Aokiji and Emu, he's the real chosen one.
Facts.
Yeah,
he's the real chosen one in the story.
He's the best redhead in the series. But like in the I think Yarl. My problem with Yarl dying. I want Yarl to die, but I want Yarl to die fighting. Like that's what needs to happen.
Yeah. Go like a warrior and stuff. Yeah.
Died to Big Mom. No, his homie died to Big Mom. Let's not forget.
That's the thing.
He needs to go
6-year-old Big Mom, by the way.
Hard. Yeah, 8, 6, whatever. And so
if your best friend got beat up by like a little kid, like is he still your best friend? I no.
Shut up, Sai. It's fucked up. That's fucked up. Yarl can't say nothing to. That's crazy.
Oh man,
I mean, if Yarl dies, who really cares? Do you guys care? Do you guys care?
I like Yarl. I like Yarl, but the reason why Hidden is because Emu showed up.
Right, exactly.
First order. Jarl must die. And so if they leave and Jarl isn't dead, that's kind of terrible for them because that was their first order. It was like
Yeah.
kill the king, and then they're like, there is no king. But then they said, all right, kill Jarl. And it's like, wait, why kill Jarl? All right, but
Yeah.
you said it. Like,
Yeah,
if
but-
you're gonna say it, then you gotta go through with it. At least you have to. And Jarl's not that hard.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that.
To be honest though, to be honest,
Past him.
He's in his twilight years. He's gonna die like next week anyway. He has an axe sticking out of his
But
head. Why
300 years ago, he was the strongest thing. 300
yeah,
years
he was
ago,
one of them. He was one of them guys.
Person in the entire world.
Yeah.
Just like
Come on.
Sommers was really strong.
Yo,
300 years
chillin'
ago.
Summers, bro.
3,000
Prime
years ago, Sommers was
Sommers.
number one.
Prime
Dude.
Sommers.
In his
I'll
prime.
be
I
honest though, like I would feel a little bit sad in a way if Yarrow died because I've been calling him Ja Rule for the longest of times and hidden. You know, the streets know about Ja Rule and everything, man, in New
Yeah.
York. So it's like I would
I've
be
been
so sad
calling
I
him Ja
can't call
Rule.
him, bro. Every time I get murdered, every single time I see him on there, bro, I'm
Oh
just
my
like I have to
God.
respect him properly, bro. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would definitely be sad if he were to go like
I
that.
just-
So
I just don't know how, like, I just can't believe Oda would actually kill off. Like what Hidden said makes sense emotional wise for the audience, the readers. Dorian Broggy by far makes the most sense. I just don't know if he would do that twice in the same arc since he already did the little moment with them chopping off their heads just to undo Domi Reversi. I just can't see it right now.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of
Let's
like a
be
raid
real.
will fail situation, you know?
If
It's
Domi
like,
Reversi
Yeah.
was never introduced, nobody would even care, bro.
yeah.
yeah.
I think Domi
this
Reversi is
point.
the biggest fumble that's been introduced in the
Ice
story.
Oni.
It's Ice Oni all over again. It's
Yeah.
solved by just punching them really hard, and it doesn't really do anything for me like narrative wise because almost inevitably it's gonna be that Dami Reversi can be like undone by Joy Boy's powers like
Yeah.
the Nika powers can like block Dami Reversi or something, or like it won't work on Luffy because of his Devil Fruit powers. So
Chopper could just tap them and they're gone.
Yep.
yeah,
Pretty
it's just
much.
like it's this big power that's gonna serve to just like make characters temporarily bad for a couple chapters to make like a clash
fodder.
happen. It's fodder. Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't really feel like it's
Advanced
yeah.
fodder.
yeah.
It's fought. It's for the final war. Like, who is John Marine gonna fight? Well, this guy got Domi Reversi.
John
I guess
Yeah,
him.
exactly. It's
Yeah,
also
no,
a way to like make
That's
matchups
great.
happen that wouldn't happen otherwise. Like, you know.
Yeah. I mean, like some of them will be cool, but the problem was like on Elbaph, it didn't feel cool anyways. Like Zoro could 1v5 1v all of them anyways. He didn't even need help. He showed up and was like, wait, can I kill them? And they're like, yeah, go for it. And then he did. And then he could have. And it wasn't that hard. Once Dorian Broggy got out of the picture, it wasn't that hard. So like that's where it's kind of weird. I guess if you get like cool Marines, like I mean T-Bone isn't there, but T-Bone was a pretty
Man,
good matchup for Zoro at one point,
T-Bone, bruh.
you know, so it's like that's kind of what Dami Reversi is. It's like this character versus this character who wouldn't make sense, like Hidden said, except now they're amped up, steroided up, and they're evil. Normally they wouldn't
And
fight
they're
this character.
No.
Yeah, and they're evil.
And
Drugs are bad, guys. Yeah.
I see in the chat here. I just want to respond to something because
Yep.
I just rewatched Naruto like recently. Someone said that it was Monkey556 said many people consider Madara a great villain and he didn't kill any significant character at all. Yes, but he also like his introduction involved him like taking out like 100 guys, like killing 100 guys like right on intro. The most Emu's
Hands.
done is like Emu's like chopped off a finger. Like I don't know, there's like there's a difference, you know. I'm not
Madara's
expecting
warming up.
Yeah, Madara, like I don't know. I'm not expecting Emu to go on a rampage like Madara, but I want a little bit of like consequence. Like if this is if Emu's here, there's got to be a consequence for that. Like it can't just be get off scot free.
Like,
You know?
imagine
it
this.
doesn't have to be a named character. Like if Emu went around and he killed, let's say, 300 giants, I'd be cool with that.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be
Like
fine.
Loki.
And Madara
Loki
pretty much
hits
did
him.
that.
Loki hits Emu into a random village. Emu decides to slaughter everybody. And now now Loki's like, well, I can't just recklessly hit Emu wherever the hell I want to now, right? And that's stakes. And it's like, it doesn't just drop him off at another alcohol village. I'm sure Oda could just conjure up like beer village. And then boom, Emu just slaughters all of beer village. And it's like, goddamn, all of Elbaph is now without alcohol. And it's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
It's
it's as simple
tree,
as
have
that.
a fall on like a whole village, kill like 300 people. Like, yeah, like we were talking about like Emu killing an important named person. And yeah, I think that's like the easiest way to do it. But I mean, to be honest, killing 400 is also on the board. I think that's an equal trade-off.
Yeah,
It is,
400
yeah.
background characters. is
Especially if
worth
like you
about
split off the
$1.
island in half or something, and just like the population goes down and everything. I mean, that's still crazy. It's just like, bro, now I passed by Elbaph, like half of it's gone. The other half I wanted to see so badly, I can't now.
Like,
You know?
It's just like, this is the same organization that burnt O'Hara down and like killed all the people on O'Hara. So if the
Yeah.
person leading that organization is not able to do something comparable by showing up in person, that's kind of, there's a dissonance there. Because like this is the same group led by Emu who made the decision to burn down an entire island, wipe it out. This is the same Emu that endorsed the human hunting on God Valley, right? So now we have Emu in the flesh here in person, and if Emu doesn't do anything even comparable, then it's like, okay, well, why'd you even come here? Why couldn't you just like have the God Knights do this? Like, if you're just gonna not like take any heads while you're here, then because I thought the reason Emu was pulling up was like, well, if you want to get a job done right, you got to get it done yourself. Shows up to the island, okay, but then you're not getting the job done. So if you don't kill them, you're not. If you don't kill anybody, you're not getting your job done either.
That's what we call
After
excuses FC.
berating.
That's all it is.
Yeah, but so you say hitting after berating your own top soldiers, telling them, yo, what the hell is taking so
because you can't go
long?
back home, especially the way Garling is probably scheming right now. Because I do think that's a dude we need to keep a very big eye on. Because I remember, I think Braga was saying this before in the last Yap piece, saying that there's a potential chance maybe that there might be somebody who's like working as like, I don't know, like a trader possibly within the ranks. And Garling, I think, would make the most sense of someone that, might be doing it for his own schemes or might be working with somebody else, possibly would teach, maybe that's there. So, like, I mean, that would be kind of a crazy thing where he just comes back and it's just like, yeah, Garling's just moving meticulously, got this whole promotion, he could provide for the family and whatever, just to go and do something afterwards to Emu. But yeah, but if there's anything else you guys want to ask right now in terms of like, any of our predictions or anything else you want to talk about real quickly while we got to the end portion of today's stream. And again, for chat, appreciate everybody who came through today with donations and all that. Make sure to check out everyone's channels if you haven't already. But if you guys have any final parts you want to say, let me know.
I do have a question.
I'm sorry. Can I say this real quick? I'm not usually this guy because I stay off of like Twitter when talking about One Piece. I just get off of social media when talking about One Piece because of stuff like this. And I just want to address this. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce it, but forgive me for like butchering this name. Azazas D. Ayala. I'm sorry for butchering that name. You said the One Piece community literally said they want Emu to be competent, and he did that. What else the community wants? We pick and choose for everything. The whole point of what everyone on the stage, I believe, is talking about is saying that we expect the guy who's portrayed as the biggest bad of the story so far to be competent, and we're expecting him to be threatening. And if he shows up here and the worst he's done is cut off a leg and some fingers, I think it's fair for people to kind of be like, a little.
We expect a little more and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, he's beating on Loki, but it's like, all right, but what else? Like, we already know Loki's injured. That was stated at the start of the arc.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying we're not bashing Emu. I want to say no one here hates Emu. We just want to see, okay, are we going to get more?
Well, it's like
that's
it's
my
like
point.
it's kind of like the Chekhov's gun analogy, right? Like, imagine a scenario where you write a story and there's a gun on the wall. It's sitting there on the wall and it keeps getting brought up by the author. They keep pointing out the gun that's on the wall. Okay, and later in the story, there's an argument. Some guy comes on to. I'm just making this up, but like, let's say some guy comes onto a property and there's an argument between him and the homeowner with the gun on the wall, and then the writer has the guy go for the gun on the wall. If that whole sequence ends with the guy not shooting the gun, then what was the point of the gun on the wall, right? Like, if you built this up as like, there's this threat there's this thing, we're going to keep pointing it out, it's there in the background, and finally the story is ready to metaphorically and I guess literally pull the trigger on it. Okay, now we're having the gun come off the wall. What's going to happen next? If that gun doesn't fire, then there was no point in even having the gun in the story. So my whole thing is like, if you're going to go out of the way to have Emu show up here, do the face reveal here, do all this stuff with Emu here, and we've been building up Emu for all this time, Emu's organization, all the horrors that they've done. If Emu comes to the island and then that gun doesn't get fired, then it makes you question, why did Emu even have to come? Why did Emu pull up here? Like, what was the point of all of it? So that's the thing. It's like I think Emu is definitely doing his job of being a threat. I think Emu is doing his job of being like a cool, like the design's cool, the attacks are interesting, the Omen stuff is interesting, but it has to amount to something. A villain of that magnitude has to be a man of great consequence.
Mhm.
And if he's not, then I just feel like that's a little bit of a letdown. I don't know. That's my perspective. Of course, Oda's gonna do what Oda wants to do. He probably has plans for Emu, but we just got to go by what we have right now. And what we have right now, it's not selling the whole thing yet. That's why I want next chapter to sell it. I want Emu to do something, at least next chapter, the next 2 chapters. That's like, oh shit, like a real slap in the face moment.
I think
Yeah,
a
and the
good
thing
example
is
too.
that the whole community loves Emu's like what we've gotten so far. Everybody loves
Yeah.
it. It's just that
Yeah.
this is still just the appetizer. Like, so I think expecting more or wanting more, especially when Oda's just going up and up with Emu, I don't think that's crazy.
Yeah, and I think a good example is Blackbeard as a counter, right? Like everywhere Blackbeard's crew showed up, they did what they needed to do. They did it super efficiently, but he has a reason not to kill people. He turns them into slaves. Emu doesn't really have it hasn't given us that reason for Elbaph or anything. Like we could theorize and be like, oh, Emu's not killing the giants because they're gonna be used as like fodder, like they need the giants as like human meat shields later on. And it's like, but we don't have that explanation. So at this point, Emu's just not killing the Straw Hats, his greatest ops for no reason. Like what reason was there to keep Usopp alive after Usopp just gave you the tongue lashing that he did? That is a character that, like, for example, in JJK, if Sukuna got talked to like that, that character is dead before they breathe again. And it's like, I'm not asking for that out of Emu in One Piece. One Piece doesn't need to be like that. We don't need to have it like that. But like there's a certain level of why is Blackbeard like so scary? Blackbeard showing up and like now what's happening to Law's crew? Like Law's crew could be dead or they're slaves.
It's been 3 years. Man.
With Emu, it's like if they showed up, it's like, we could fix your finger. We have Vegapunk anyways. The Vegapunks all live last arc anyways. And they're clearly not here for blood. They're not killing like senselessly. Whereas if Blackbeard shows up, Blackbeard could flip the entire island and everyone dies. Like, and I could fully see him do that. And he could kill everybody. So it's like, and that goes to the whole thing of like people think that Blackbeard is a final villain. It's like he's showing up like a villain. So why isn't Emu feeling like that? Leloucia was a great start though. Leloucia was a good of like, oh, let's just laser them. Why don't we just do that?
Yeah.
And it's like, why doesn't Emu do more of like, why am I like getting bitched by these like little dogs right now? Let me just laser them. Let me do more of that.
I do feel like in
Akuma,
oh my bad, you didn't go.
No, sorry. I was just gonna say I want like a Kuma Sabaody moment, like where like the whole moment of like the pacifist is showing up, Kuma overpowers the crew, and it's like it's quick. It's like over and done with. Everyone's getting like knocked out, like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
It's kind of a shock to the system because that's what it is at the time. It's like such a league out of the realm of like where the Straw Hats are at. I kind of expected Emu to be like that, where it's like Emu's in a league of his own. This should be a shock to the system for everybody, right? So
I kind of look at it honestly, like the way I interpret all this stuff right now. For me, like the more I really look back on this stuff, it's like baseball, where it's like you're bringing in a closer to close out the game so you can get the dub. And Emu is basically that. When you bring out that Mariano Rivera, that's gonna get you the dub afterwards. The whole purpose is striking out people to make sure you win the game. If you're putting people on base, if they're getting runs off you and stuff, that's not good. And that's like what we're trying to avoid. Hopefully for Emu is that they're gonna go and get something and leave after the point because that's how the game ends and stuff. So it has to have an impact. There's got to be a meaning for a reason for a character of such stature to be shown. Like it's a big deal, guys. Like we just got Rock shown to us in this flashback and Emu shown in this arc in the same time. Like that's not something you just here you go. But that's a big deal. And to have Emu come in here and literally just leave with just chopping a finger from Gerd, taking Stan Delaria Hansen's leg and all that, like it just doesn't do anything for me after that point, right? So he's got to leave with something so that there is an impact, so that these things have meaning. And I get it though. Yes, it's been a couple chapters since they came into the mix. I doubt that this is all Oda has to showcase for us, but I think there is reason to worry because there's been a track record of previous times where they could have done some very meaningful and impactful things before. It just didn't do. It didn't come off the way it did, and that's why people have the reservations for that. So, yeah, I think but again, like, so shout out to the question that was being asked earlier from Ayala. I hope I pronounced it properly. But again, because like, I don't think there's any hostility. I can tell you right now that isn't the case. Everyone's that's the whole point of the conversations and stuff, to kind of just get an understanding of where everyone's coming from, where they're going with that. So, but I do appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we just want to see Emu ball out. I think everyone can agree on that, and then how we counteract against that afterwards. But it's like, again, like we all can read and write. We understand like how a story can work and how it can't work and stuff. And there's a problem here that could lead to a bigger problem down the line. And this is one of those cases. If you're bringing in baseball terms, your closer to finish a game, and they don't get the job done, you're not getting paid the next game. You're not going to be on the team the next game. So, amen. But yeah,
real quick, last. I also just want to say this: I'm genuinely not even expecting anyone of any significant importance to die here in Elbaph. So, hey, if Emu does kill somebody, hey, fantastic. I'm not expecting it. That's not how I'm scaling Emu. I'm only just going off of, let's see what Emu can do this arc, and I just don't want it. If the theory does come true that Blackbeard snuffs out Emu, is it now the question is this going to be the only arc that we actually got to see Emu in action before Blackbeard just takes like whatever he has going? Oh, that'd be crazy. Because I saw someone say in the chat earlier about something about like we still have arcs to go or whatever, but it's like I'm not expecting Emu to show up at the next island we go to, or even the island after that. I'm not after Elbaph. I'm not expecting Emu to get active again until the final war.
If they get there, that's like there's no guarantee even with Blackbeard, bro. Blackbeard pulls up, bro. It's I tell you right now, I'll be very disappointed in Blackbeard if they were to walk out of Marijois now with a body of Emu. I'll be more disappointed.
That's all I'm getting at. Yeah, my fault. That's all I'm getting at. I just don't want this to be the only time Emu shows out and we get like nothing else after this.
Yeah, because I'll tell you right now, history is gonna remember that stuff for a long time. Like the way they clown on Madara and stuff after certain points of time, or any different type of villains and stuff. I promise you right now, Naruto fans were waiting their whole lifetime to get back on us for the way a lot of people disrespected them, man. Oh, bro, listen, there's a lot of people got to go hiding. I feel my case too because I have my feelings with Part 2 of Naruto, but that's a good way to segue to the end and stuff because, it's over and everything. One Piece is still ongoing, but I appreciate everybody who came in today for Yap Piece Episode 6. Shout out to Par, shout out to Hidden, shout out to Sai, shout out to Matt, shout out to Edens. Appreciate y'all coming through. Make sure to check everybody's channels and link below if you haven't already. Next Yap Piece episode probably going to be going down after the next break. I think sometime up in May afterwards. We have a chapter I think coming out sometime next week, hopefully, so stay tuned for that. But the magazine's still on break, so no Kagurabachi. However, Dotadon should be back on the channel this upcoming Monday, so if you're a Dotadon enjoyer, definitely tap in for that. And with that all being said, let us know your thoughts in the comments below for this week's episode. If there's any questions that we didn't get to ask and stuff, we'll definitely go and tap into that afterwards. And with that being all said, shout out to the chat. Shout out to everybody who came through. Shout out to the One Piece community. Again, as I always want to do these Yap Pieces to bring the community around because I know it's not like back then we had all the free ample time. We can get the people together and stuff. That's what I love to do. Even on the break week, get the family together and stuff. I appreciate y'all coming through today, man. And W's in the chat, everyone stay around. And with that being said, we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Peace, guys.